Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your TWitWoW Five Fave Fives January of 2020 edition. And I just want to let you all know that this is our 9th Five Fave Fives, but I'm going to probably stop actually numbering every video because we're going to be doing so many more now. We're going to be doing 5 a year instead of just 3 a year. This is the first of 2020. Happy 2020, everybody, by the way. I almost forgot to mention that. It is 2020, and this is going to be the first TWitWoW commentary of the year, as is tradition over the last couple of years, I believe. So I'm very excited to talk about our favorite wrestlers, our favorite performers, our favorite acts in the wrestling world today. John, my friend, how are you feeling?
Oh, brother, I'm feeling great. You know that this is always my favorite video series that we do as a podcast, because I feel like it's just when you let your hair down and let the fandom flag fly, as I love saying. My lists are very intriguing this month, or this go around, and I cannot wait to share them with you all. So yeah, let's do it. I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, before we get into our lists, I do want to just go over the actual schedule for Five Fave Fives going forward, because it is new and I want to really kind of drive it into everybody's heads and make sure that everyone is aware of how this is going to work. Our next Five Fave Five after this will be the post WrestleMania Fave Five, but then we will also be doing a post Dominion Fave Five, which will be in mid-June. Our next one after that will be kind of another normal, usual one. It'll be after SummerSlam. And then we'll also be doing one after Survivor Series. So those are 4 on top of this one, makes 5 in a year. And then starting in 2021, we will not do one on January 1st. However, we will still do one immediately after the Royal Rumble. So we're going to be able to kind of fit it in the way it worked out. I did the math. We're literally doing a Fave 5 every 9 to 13 weeks is how it kind of works out. It ranges from 9 to 13, but generally you can look at it as between 2.5 and 3 months in between each Fave 5. And I think that that's a perfect amount of time, so where it won't be too repetitive, like we won't be just having like rehashing the same lists every time, because there's just not enough time for things to change. But I also think that that's better than what we've been doing, because now we're going to be able to pay our respects to the best of Super Juniors after May when we do our post-Dominion version of this. And we're cutting the time in half between the post-SummerSlam and first of the following year, so that we're going to be able to also kind of respect stuff that happens in between SummerSlam and Survivor Series, which really is a struggle to remember for me personally. So I'm happy to have you all here, and now that I kind of went over business, we can get into the fun part. We can actually do our Five Fave Fives for the first Five Fave Five of 2020. John, I'm going to just straight up ask you, do you want to start with our WWE Fave Fives, or would you like for me to start?
I'll start this one.
All right.
Great to see the live chat slowly popping off. I believe that's Jackie.
Yes, that is Jackie and Aaron.
So Jackie, and I don't see Aaron's message yet. That's odd. Maybe he'll show.
Well, Aaron might have been before you got into the stream. Aaron said,
okay,
to you as well.
That is one thing I don't like about Twitch, is I can't see like all the messages. I can only see when I connect. So anyway,
and there's Platok. And again, please correct my pronunciation if it's wrong. It probably is.
I'm going to start with honorable mentions for the WWE side. Honorable mentions for the WWE side. Wait, hold on. I want to make sure, because no.
Yeah,
I'm actually glad I saw this list. I had to pull up the right one, because I originally pulled up the wrong one. I knew my honorable mentions wasn't this long, so this is the right list. Honorable mentions: Buddy Murphy, Ricochet, Viking Raiders, Daniel Bryan, Sasha Banks, and Bayley.
Nice. Okay. And we actually have quite a few common honorable mentions this time around. I just have a fuck ton of honorable mentions, though, so it's not too surprising there would be some overlap, because I've got, like, I think 10. My honorable mentions: Kevin Owens. I gave a lot of credit to him in our year-end award yesterday, and that was actually what led to me making him an honorable mention here. He wasn't an honorable mention before our year-end award yesterday, and yesterday I was like, wait a minute, holy shit. Kevin Owens has had a really good year. I really like him right now. And so I put him on the honorable mentions list. Samoa Joe is an honorable mention for me, because he hasn't been wrestling lately, but he's been an amazing commentator, and he just had some really cool stuff that he's been doing as far as getting physical on this past Raw, and even just getting power bombed through the table on the Raw before that, after standing up to the AOP. So Samoa Joe, honorable mention. Sami Zayn, killing it as a manager. I fucking love Sami Zayn, and now he's back in the ring, which makes me even more excited. The Revival. I just love the Revival, even if they're not doing particularly much. I still just enjoy their matches. The Fiend is an honorable mention for me. He didn't cut the Fave 5, brother.
That's fine, man. That's fine. I will say 2 of your honorable mentions made my list.
No, dude, you got to understand. I'm not done. There's more.
Oh, shit. Okay, keep going. Keep going.
Sasha Banks and Bayley are both also honorable mentions for me. I know you said that those were for you as well.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre is an honorable mention for me. The Viking Raiders I have in common with you. And finally, my last honorable mention, and just dangling by a thread because he's kind of been exposed as not a very good talker and he doesn't really get long matches, Humberto Carrillo.
Yeah.
So that's my honorable mentions. As far as your honorable mentions, 2 of your honorable mentions are in my Fave 5.
Coming in at number 5 for me.
Wait. How many of mine are in yours?
Well,
do you want me to go over them again? Owens,
2.
Joe, Zayn.
No. Yeah, I remember 2 of them. 2 of them.
2 of them. Okay. All right. Cool.
All right. I've been about to name one like twice, so now I can go. Number 5 is Kevin Owens.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been loving Kevin Owens as a face. Anybody that can clap back at Lana and her terrible fucking promos will always have a place in my Fave 5s.
And he's the only one that's really giving it to her too.
And I gotta tell you, I hope his babyface momentum with this program with Seth Rollins and AOP. I'm telling you, this summer I would love a program between Kevin Owens and Brock Lesnar. Because if Brock is having the WrestleMania match that I think he's having, 1, what a fucking waste. And 2, I could see him easily getting past the challenge. So I really am not too worried about that.
Is this something you could share with the class, or is it something you'd rather keep under wraps?
Well, it's Cain Velasquez 2, or it's Tyson Fury is what I'm hearing. So it's a fucking waste either way. I think, though, if you want SummerSlam to pop off, a babyface Kevin Owens versus Brock Lesnar, I'd be into that match, honestly. And that really says a lot, given what we know to expect at this point in time from a Brock Lesnar match. But I find Kevin Owens just that magnetic as a babyface. Yeah. So, yeah, Kevin Owens coming in at number 5 because he's a father, damn it.
Damn.
So who's number 5 for you?
Number 5 for me is Andrade.
Andrade was number 3 on my list.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Andrade's been absolutely killing it lately. I actually, there was like this weird list that came out of people that Paul Heyman really wanted to get over, and fucking Charlotte was on the list because of course, but it was like Aleister Black, Buddy Murphy. There was somebody else on the list that I'm forgetting, and then Charlotte, and Andrade wasn't on the list. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? But yeah, it was really frustrating to see.
Paul's losing more and more of my respect by the day. And that's Heyman, by the way, in case...
yeah. Obviously not Mr. William Gregory.
Yeah. Even though, those cheese and onion sandwich, that's suspect as hell, but I ain't trying to judge him.
But yeah, Andrade's killing it, but he was higher on your list, so I am giving as they would say in Congress, I concede my time to you.
Yeah, no, you pretty much said everything. I think Andrade's immensely talented. He's one of the few guys that even when I'm not like actively into watching the Raw product, I'll go on YouTube and I'll watch his clips.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to miss anything that Andrade does.
Nope.
I'm very disappointed that he proposed to Charlotte. It's a shame when we don't know that we can do better in life. But he is our United States champion. It's about time that he won a fucking title. I think that he could have a very inspired title reign if they give him the ball. And again, I said this recently on a commentary. I forget which one it was. It's a shame that Andrade is in the spot that he's in, like, right now, with guys like Brock Lesnar and The Fiend as the world champions, because I just can't see Andrade being a world champion in this particular era. But I hope patience wins out and the landscape changes to the point where we could slot Andrade in as WWE champion and it would be believable, because I want to see him with that title over his shoulder. It would give me fucking goosebumps. But for now, at least he's U.S. champion. We could see what he can do with it. I love him. I think his matches, especially when you give him a caliber opponent, he could have a lot more match of the year contenders than what I think he's been permitted to have. Zelina is great. I love the dynamic. I'm glad they haven't broken up yet. It's always something that WWE might do to spice things up. But I think Andrade is so fucking good, and he's one of my favorites in the WWE product working right now. So, yeah. El Ídolo.
Yes, la sentinela del espacio.
Exactly.
I also wanted to ask you though, should I include Zelina? Because I added Zelina for mine because she's just such a great part of that packaging.
Oh, dude, as far as I'm concerned, they are one act. You're totally good. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, you say that, but I'm worried that the reason they put the title on him at a house show was so that he could lose the title on TV and break up with her.
And we haven't seen that yet. So for now, it's conjecture, but it may very well become reality. We're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, here's to hoping we don't see that ever. All right, so I guess you get to tell us your number 4 now, my friend.
All right, coming in at number 4 for me, Aleister Black.
Ah, he's my number 3.
Oh, shit. Okay, then I'm going to make this quick since he was higher for you. Great look, licensed to print money, future world champion. Go.
Yes, yes, and yes. I approve of all 3 of those things. Yeah, he's got an amazing look. He's got an amazing, like, oh, God, what's the word? Mystique. That's the word. He's got an amazing mystique about him with just the way that he carries himself and the entrance and, like, the backstage shit, like the vibe that he gives off. There's definitely that it factor going on with him right now. And the fact that he is currently in a TV program is very exciting, especially given who he's working with. And I just am hopeful that the WWE sees him as the main eventer that he absolutely should be, and they don't just insist on sticking him in the mid-card for life.
Amen to that, brother. Oh, man.
And I mean, I guess this is a perfect little moment for me to transition into my number 4, because who's Aleister Black working with? My number 4, Buddy Murphy.
He's so good, dude.
Dude, you guys, like, I was talking in one of the Facebook chats that I'm in. It's specifically the only, like, multiple person chat that I'm in that has people in it that I'm not like super friendly with. And it's not like I'm hostile to them. I just don't know them that well. But it's an Abel chat. Abel loves making Facebook chats and inviting people to it.
He does.
But it's one of the more, like, you know, not everybody necessarily agrees on everything. It's not like an in the bubble kind of chat for me. It's very much like a shell shock. It's like a, wow, these people really think differently than me kind of things. And the topic of a potential top 10 list got brought up, of like everybody giving their top 10 matches of the year and then Abel compiling them into like a master list that reflects the whole chat's feelings. And I said, well, are we going to include everything, or is it only going to be a WWE thing? And it got me thinking, what would my top 10 WWE matches of the year be? And then I was like, well, if we don't include NXT, then Black Murphy probably have 2 matches on that list between their match at TLC and their match this week on Raw. Dude, did you watch their match this week on Raw?
No, but I should.
Dude, the crowd was not into anything before that match. And by the end of that match, Murphy got a fucking standing ovation.
That's incredible. I need to go back and watch that. That's officially.
We should watch that together, because I wasn't able to watch it in full, but I've seen people talking about it and about how amazing the response was at the end of the match. So yeah, Murphy is a great in-ring worker, a surprisingly solid talker for somebody that, you know, you wouldn't necessarily, you know, rate as one. He's actually a pretty decent talker. He's not bad at all on the mic. And he's got an amazing look. He's jacked to fuck. And I don't necessarily see him as like obvious main event, WrestleMania main event type guy like I see Aleister Black, which is why Black's higher on my list than him. But I do think that he is a workhorse and he should be a mainstay in the upper mid card with flirtations with the main event.
Absolutely. And honestly, can I just very quickly, because he was just an honorable mention for me.
Of course.
Even though he was an honorable mention for me, I respect the fuck out of the dude, and I do enjoy his work. And I would say, on the whole, I think he is one of the more underappreciated stories in wrestling. Like, this guy could have just coasted and just been kept in the dark on NXT. He made stuff for himself. He's like, hey, can you put me on here if I cut weight? Or, hey, you know, let me, you know, do this whole thing. Like, this is a guy that's very proactive about his own career, which doesn't always mean that it's going to work out. We know how the WWE machine is, but at least he's fighting for his own chance. And I just have the deepest respect for that. So moving right along, my number 2, because, you know, recap 5 was Kevin Owens, 4 was Aleister Black for me, 3 was Andrade. Coming in at number 2, The Fiend. I'm still loving it. I'm still loving everything about it. Really, I don't know if it would have been cheaty because I know they are treating The Fiend and Bray Wyatt as two separate entities, but I really do love both, and I love the interplay between them. I will say I like the custom title. I don't like how much the replica is priced at, but WWE is making
I was
going to
say, I honestly, like, even though the Fiend custom title is, like, a cool thing, and it's, like, it's interesting, and I like that they're at least trying something new, I just love the blue Universal title in and of itself.
I do too, man. Dude, it looks so much better than the red one.
Right? Like, it's amazing the improvement a simple color palette change can do.
Yeah, bro, I gotta tell you, the blue Universal title, forget it just representing SmackDown. Like, that to me, if you wanted to make a world title, like, I could just buy it, man. I'm like, okay, it's a different aesthetic, but it's one that, like, I could still gravitate towards, and it looks great on Bray. When he came out with it at TLC, I'm like, God, that's so fucking right.
Yeah.
You know, and look, I know people have kind of had their weird things with Bray, because obviously, like, him doing the Saudi show rubbed people the wrong way. I don't know if you saw, but he tweeted about Kevin Spacey's weird video recently, which is why I tell you, social media in this day and age, sometimes if I was a performer, I wouldn't even have Twitter. I don't even care.
Man, I'm telling you, I've been saying it since before the Saudi show, when people were like, oh, maybe Bray won't do the Saudi show. Maybe he'll be one of those guys. Bray Wyatt, or Wyndham Rotunda, if you want to use his real name, is carny as fuck.
Yeah, and the tweet didn't do him any favors either, because he's like, oh, I forgive you, Kevin. But I almost interpreted it as like, oh, Bray may forgive, but the Fiend doesn't forget. And if the Fiend had the chance, he'd put the mandible claw down your throat. But see, putting that aside, and it is a little weird to put aside, I ain't gonna lie, and looking at him purely as a performer, call him a carny, call him whatever, which is accurate. The dude eats, sleeps, and breathes this business. Like like with Charlotte, it really is just wearing the name very superficially. With Bray, he lives his lineage.
I was going to say,
he lives this fucking business.
At worst, we can just think of Bray as another AJ Styles, where we don't necessarily like the person, but we love the talent.
And that's just it. That's just it. If I can make that room for AJ, and I can't deny that he's good at this business. Yeah. I mean, Bray right now is I think still the #1 merch seller, which I didn't know if anybody was going to knock Becky off their perch. And in fact, in other times, I'm surprised she's hung on this long, which kudos to her. But yeah, I mean, he's making his money. And to think that he'd have this kind of run when before he dropped off the face of the earth, he was teaming with Woken Matt Hardy, which, no offense to Matt, but that wasn't exactly a main event slot on the card.
Right.
It's incredible, man. And I've loved every step of it. I don't think anything will ever exceed just the novelty in the honeymoon phase before Hell in a Cell, because, man, when he had Seth, like, shaking in the corner, and when he laid out Braun, like, just so many great segments. But, man, like, it's still so inspired. It's working with a great team, you know, Tom Savini, like that whole makeup team. I think they've done great stuff. WWE is behind it, which that's a fucking shock. And yeah, he's the world champion. And I'm loving everything he does. And Daniel Bryan, and I say again, and I feel like I've been kind of maybe slighting him lately because he gets an honorable mention again. But God bless Daniel Bryan, because that dude can make any feud compelling. So when you've got two people, and I've been waiting for this rematch since the Rumble match in 2012.
Holy shit, was that seriously all the way back in 2012?
I believe it was, because WWE uploaded it recently, and I believe 2012 was the year on it that I saw. And
I thought that was in like 2014, the year that Bryan won the title at Mania.
No, I believe it was. I believe it was 2012 that I saw. Unless WWE did a typo.
No, dude, that's still crazy. I can't believe how long ago that was. Because you're probably right. Because it was. I know it was during the big thing where it was like Bryan and Punk versus the Shield and the Wyatt family at the same time.
Yeah, I'm saying here Royal Rumble 2014. So yeah, you were probably right. And I think WWE had a typo.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought I saw them.
That's crazy.
So yeah, you're
I
right.
also don't remember when the Shield even debuted. That could have been 2011 or 2013. I have no clue.
Yeah, but I've been waiting for this rematch either way. And I know we had the match, like, what was it, at Survivor Series? But I feel like this is going to be far more competitive, and I'm excited. So yeah, Fiend's #2. I love it. But I'm curious, who's your #2?
Well, I'm wondering if my #2 is actually your #1, because my #2 is Kabuki Warriors.
Well, obviously Kyrie is my #1, but you have Kabuki Warriors as a tag team. So yeah, Yeah, you kind of pulled a me what I did a little while back with 5v5 when I had Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly as a team, and I'm like, they're the tag team champions. That count. Look at you learning, because I remember you were like, I didn't think of that, and now you did. That's cool. Yeah. So talk about Kabuki Warriors, man. I'm curious. I want you to kind of go first and get it out of your system.
The thing is, you know that I love Kairi, but Asuka has really been killing it as well. I'm not trying to pick one over the other. I think that as an act, they're just amazing. They really are. Like, they are the tag team champions that everybody wanted Boss and Hug to be. You know what?
Yes.
They're defending those titles. They're on TV every week. They're putting on great matches with people that aren't necessarily known for having great matches. Look at you, Charlotte. And they're just killing it. They're entertaining. They're having great matches. They had what should have been an amazing match at TLC if it wasn't for the Kairi injury. And I just hope that Kairi's able to recover from said injury in time to appear in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, because I haven't heard like a medical update in a while. I'm just going to get this out of the way now. It's probably going to be the most pressing thing I say all commentary. I hope this isn't the last time I can talk about Kairi in a 5v5.
Yeah.
And if it is, I wanted to, obviously give her the #1 spot. I want to get something out of the way here too, and I figure this is the best form to do it. Because sometimes when I talk about...
I was going to say, you had them higher than me, so you should just go off on Kairi.
Well, what I wanted to say too, first of all, I'm actually glad I let you go first because you appreciated the team, and I really like that. I wanted to get off my chest because sometimes when I do a Kairi appreciation tweet, I'll have people like come in, oh, well, don't forget about Asuka too, or what about Asuka? I don't dislike Asuka. I think Asuka's amazing. I think she's a legend. Honestly, she should go down as a legend. Yeah. If she hasn't already.
Without a doubt.
I think she's incredible. But I'm always going to be a bigger Kairi fan. It's not me being anti-Asuka. It's just me being very, very, very pro-Kairi.
Yeah.
I think she's amazing. I think Kairi, too, even if I wasn't that big of a fan of hers, the idea that she's been able to make this heel gimmick work from her aesthetic, which is fucking... and just the evil laugh, which I think is one of the most
so good. Her laugh cures cancer, I swear.
Bro, you take... Like, if Charlotte has her woo, which fucking sucks, like, Kairi cures every bad woo we've ever heard by actually doing an appropriate evil laugh.
I mean, you love Kairi more and hate Charlotte less than me, so I can't sign on to this, fam.
Yeah, like, and, that's the thing, man. Like, I just feel like Kairi has shown us, like, her versatility. It's a shame. Because I feel like this injury and everything, like it's really, and given her past history, which I didn't really confront meaningfully when she first came to the WWE, I don't know if she's ever going to get that women's championship or that big run that like I wish she was healthier to get. Maybe this is always going to be what she does, but she's still doing it so fucking well. Like just to piggyback off of what you said, those women's tag titles have never felt more important. And it's just incredible that a team of two people that don't even, speak English because they're not permitted to. I know Kairi's English was pretty decent the last time we heard her speaking in NXT. And Asuka with Kanach on TV, that's been improving. But, them being heels, obviously the foreign language is supposedly going to get heat. But I could even see them becoming baby faces in 2020, honestly. Like, I feel like they garnered a lot of sympathy at TLC, especially with Charlotte and Becky fucking countering everything, especially Charlotte. But yeah, I mean, Kairi's my captain. I really hope this isn't the last time I get to celebrate her like this. But if it is, she's going out on top because I'll tell you, women's wrestling is amazing, and we're gonna get to that in just a little bit. But Kairi still does it for me like nobody else. So ahoy! And that rounds out my 5v5. Yep. And so who's #1 for you, man?
Well, my #1 was one of your honorable mentions, because remember I did say that you had 2 of my top 5 in your honorable mentions, and the only one that I've mentioned so far is Buddy Murphy.
I know who the other one is, and I think everybody should too by now.
Daniel Bryan, that's right.
That's right. Yeah.
It's just easy, man. Like I didn't even think about it. He's both one of the most likable people in the company and one of the most over and one of the most talented. And oh, by the way, he's also always putting everyone else over, and he makes every storyline work. Like he's the most entertaining act in arguably all of wrestling right now. Like I think he's at least a solid lock for top 3, if not a lock for top 1.
Bro, I just picture you like making these 5v5 lists one day, and it's just like, man, it's actually pretty competitive this year. And Brian's like, what if I cut this promo though? And you're just like, come on, man, that ain't fair. Like, somebody else has got to get a turn, right? Like, fuck me. No, dude, you're absolutely right though. I don't even know. I have such a weird relationship with Daniel Bryan because I don't hate him at all. I've come up on here and echoed with you. He's the most selfless performer of this generation. I have said that multiple times. Yep. It's just, I feel like he's that guy that I appreciate, but would never go out of my way to buy merch. Like, if I had the disposable income to even buy merch at all, like, that's another thing I think about with 5v5. Like, who would I buy merch of if I could do it and if I really felt compelled to do it? I don't know if I'd ever buy, like, a t-shirt, but he's been so good for this fucking business, and I never want people to get that twisted. So the idea that you give him the love that he clearly deserves is just so heartening to me. Because, God, dude, if we had a Daniel Bryan in every locker room, the culture of pro wrestling would change within the next decade. Like, complete 180. Yeah, for sure. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
All right. Hey, before we move on to NXT, would you like to hear what my mom's Fave 5 was for WWE?
I think we'd all love to hear that.
Okay, number 5, she had The Miz.
Nice.
Number 4, she had Roman Reigns.
Nice.
3, Buddy Murphy.
Nice.
2, Aleister Black.
Awesome.
And, of course, everyone knows her number 1 in WWE. It's Elias.
Nice. All right, man. NXT, who are your honorable mentions?
My honorable mention, dude, again, I have a fuck ton of honorable mentions for pretty much everything here, and I think NXT was the one that I filled out the most. There was a point, actually, that I had so many honorable mentions for NXT that I had to use only last names because using first names would make it go to a second line, and you know how anal I am about that shit. So, my honorable mentions for NXT: Angel Garza, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Shayna Baszler, all 3 members of VXT. And for those of you that don't know, VXT is comprised of Chelsea Green, Deonna Purrazzo, and Santana Garrett. Lio Rush, Dominic Dijakovic, Cameron Grimes, Walter, Tyler Bate, Shotzi Blackheart, the entire rest of the Undisputed Era that I don't have in my top 5, and the elusive, the hasn't been on TV nearly enough since his debut, the arguably best debut in WWE in 2019, Rick Boogs.
I have 3 of your honorable mentions in my Fave 5. I told you, dude, my NXT list is crazy this month. Like, yeah, dude.
Wait, let me just ask you this, though. Are all 3 of those people dudes that were in the breakout tournament?
Yes.
I knew it. I know who they are already.
Yeah. My honorable mentions: Damian Priest.
Nice.
Rhea Ripley.
Yep.
Adam Cole.
Yes.
Tommaso Ciampa.
Okay.
Finn Balor.
Wait, Tommaso Ciampa's not in your Fave 5? Wow.
No. I told you, dude, this list is really different from last time.
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor and Io Shirai.
Oh, wow. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay. Damn.
Okay, so how many in my honorable mentions made your Fave 5?
3.
I knew it, and I think I know who they are too.
I bet you one of them will surprise you. The other 2 definitely won't. One of them I think will surprise you.
All right. So, who came in at number 5 for you, man?
And this is the one that might surprise you. Number 5 for me is Rhea Ripley.
You know what? When you said surprise, I altered because you know what? I'm not even going to tell you what I originally thought because I don't want to out anything. But yeah, talk about Rhea Ripley.
Aside from the 2 obvious ones, what was the third one that you thought it might have been?
I thought it might have been because let's see what I originally thought. Yeah, this is what I originally thought. I thought the one that it might have been would have been Ciampa. I thought Ciampa would have made it for you.
I thought he would have made it for you, but no, not for either one of us. But yeah, Rhea Ripley comes in at number 5 for me. The thing is, dude, we've got to remember, she's literally, her entire run on NXT Full Sail has taken the place within the confines of this grading period. Because we're doing everything since September 1st, and she debuted after that on Full Sail, on that episode of Full Sail where she came out and she was like, you haven't beaten me, bitch. And then, she had her match against Shayna and the whole build up to War Games and then actually beating Shayna for the title. I love Rhea Ripley. She's a great performer, and I think that she absolutely earned a spot on my Fave 5 this time around. Believe it or not, I actually did have Angel Garza in this spot before she beat Shayna for that title. That was what pushed her over the edge for me.
Yeah, dude, she's awesome. I really think she's going to have an amazing run as women's champion, and I'm very curious the woman that's going to step up and take the title off of her, honestly.
Yeah.
All right.
Who's your number 5? I'm curious.
The EST of NXT, Bianca Belair.
Wow, okay. I'm not at all surprised that she's on your Fave 5. I'm actually a little bit surprised that she's this low on your Fave 5.
Dude, again, because I really, you know what, dude? I just want to say this too, because I'm glad you said that. I think in some respects I've been overthinking Fave 5, because again, it should just be like, who do you really support and who do you really like? Which should just be intuitive, like who evokes a strong response from me. Yeah. And with the people we've been watching lately, I've really been digging some people, man. And I'm really excited to talk about that today.
I like to think of Fave 5s as just like, who do you enjoy watching the most? Who gets you the most excited to watch them when they come on? Like who are you most likely to squeeze for when their music hits? That kind of thing.
Right, exactly. I think Bianca, great packaging, solid athleticism. I'm going to be honest, because I know Bianca has her fans, and this might be a divisive comment from me. I think she's almost wasting her time in NXT at this point. Mm-hmm. I feel like now I want to be very careful here with the next part of my wording, because I obviously like her a lot more.
Before you say that, can I say something?
Sure.
She's not going to get any better at the things that she needs to get any better at in NXT. NXT has done everything they can do for her. The shit that she needs to get better at, she can only get better at by working with people that are better than her.
Yeah. What I was going to say was, what I feel like, and again, I want to tread water carefully here, because I do like her a lot more than the person I'm about to compare her to. She's a lot like a Lacey Evans to me, where most of her mileage that she's going to experience in her career is going to be in front of a main roster audience. Like, I can very easily picture her as Raw Women's Champion at this stage of the game. I don't know if she's ever going to win the NXT Women's Championship. She might just be one of those people that goes through the system having never won the title. I do, though, completely see her as a future main roster Women's Champion. And I think that's where she should be. No, I think she's very marketable. I like the confidence. I like the EST gimmick. And yeah.
Well, she can't be the EST of Monday Night Raw. That doesn't even rhyme.
True. But I mean, they'll find a place for her. And even if she wants to say, I'm the EST, and if you can't say like EST of
maybe she'll just be the EST of WWE. That rhymes.
Yeah, EST of WWE, and even just say EST because I'm the fastest, strongest, like she used to, and that would work, on any brand. And yeah, I have all the confidence in Bianca Belair, but I just feel like, again, the career success for both women like her and women like Lacey is going to come more on the main roster, because I feel like they're more.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like the reason that we thought Lacey would be a quick main eventer and win titles quickly on the main roster was because she's like Vince's type, and Bianca isn't at all.
And that's true, but I also think another affinity between Bianca and Lacey, however loose, would be, I feel like they're more character-driven than in-ring driven. And Bianca's solid in ring. I'd say maybe more so than Lacey. I think that may be a matter of debate. But
yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I think as far as like the psychology and the little things, they're about even. But then you like take like the athleticism and the power and shit into account, and that puts Bianca above Lacey for sure.
I don't know. I just see Bianca doing good business. I enjoy watching her. I enjoy the arrogance and the little things. You figure with Kyrie, she used to have the blowing the kiss, and then with Shotzi, she was blowing the gum and like doing all that thing. Like, she's very performative in the ring in between the little spurts of athleticism. Yeah. And I think that's going to translate to be very successful for her in a main roster audience. So we'll see. But she cracked my number 5. So, moving right along. Who's next on your list?
Number 4 on my list. It was one of your honorable mentions again. It's Adam Cole, baby.
Go off, brother.
I mean, what even needs to be said at this point? He's had, hands down, the best, most successful year of anyone in NXT. Dude won the NXT championship in June, has held it since then, and while holding it, has defeated multiple main roster performers and represented NXT in a championship match at Survivor Series on the main roster pay-per-view, at a Big 4 pay-per-view at that, and defended successfully in that as well. Like, he's just had an amazing year, and as far as just why I like him, I mean, again, Undisputed Era in general I love. Adam Cole stands out above the rest, though, because of his charisma and his facial expressions And I will admit, he's kind of got a little bit of like an Ishii factor where like maybe I know that he's going to have a match and I'm kind of looking forward to it, but I always seem to underestimate just how good his matches end up being. And then they always suck me in when they're happening. So yeah, Adam Cole is just amazing. So yeah.
All right. Sorry, Javaris. I'm sure in your mind he should rank a lot higher for me, but number 4 is Keith Lee.
Well, so, you gotta concede a little time to me here because he's my number 2.
Holy shit! I'll keep this very succinct then. Amazingly charismatic. Mm-hmm. I think understands we're in the age of the internet with the stuff that he's been doing lately, with the coming up from behind on people with the stare down.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, yes.
He gets it, dude. And that's the biggest compliment I could give somebody, even though they're only number 4. He gets this business, and that's why he's going to succeed. But again, I'm conceding the remaining time to you. You had him number 2. So what's up?
Yeah. Keith Lee is somebody that I vastly underestimated when I first started seeing him show up in PWG and Wrestle Circus, because I thought that he didn't have endurance, because I would start to notice him kind of blowing up after like 7 or 8 minutes into a match. And now I'm starting to realize that not only was I at least somewhat wrong about that because he can go longer and he has like even if not the endurance, he at least has the perseverance to just power through it and just keep going and kind of maintain it. But also he's at his best in those 7 or 8 minute long matches anyway, because he is a fucking highlight reel waiting to happen. And like, what I mean when I say he can push through it too is like, even when we get the longer, like 15, 20 minute matches with stuff like him and Dijakovic, Jesus Christ, those 2 matches, like the 2 big Dijakovic Lee matches that didn't get interrupted were fucking, like genuinely, if we were making a top 10 WWE match list and we were allowed to include NXT, I think those would both make that list. Like it would be 2, maybe those both War Games matches, Dream versus Riddle, and like, I can't think of any more right now, but that's like that's how good these guys have been this year. And Dijakovic did make my honorable mentions, but I couldn't put him on my actual Fave 5 because I just prefer Keith Lee out of the 2, because like Dijakovic, as good as he is in the ring, he's much more bland from a character and everything else perspective. Keith Lee, I mean, you said it yourself, dude is charismatic as fuck. Dude has amazing facial expressions. He's very expressive. And like you said, he is the most gifable or memeable, or however you want to put it, entity in the WWE right now, with the way that he has been showing up out of nowhere from off screen to just like stare somebody down, and the fact that he's tossing people over things, like throwing Adam Cole up over the barricade. There was another match recently, I think it was Tony Nese, I think, that he chucked up over the announce table or something like that. But yeah, like Keith Lee is really like, if it wasn't for the mainstay that I have at number 1, and this was really like the most that I've struggled with not putting somebody else at number 1, or with not putting this person at number 1, Keith Lee would have been my number 1. But I just have a mainstay at number 1 that just kind of, you know, is kind of like a Kyrie for me, you know, like my version of what. Yeah. So yeah, we'll get to that. Everyone knows who it is by now, but we'll get to it when we get to it, just in case there are people that still don't know. And yeah, Keith Lee at number 2 for me is a mainstay for sure.
All right. Do you go next again?
I guess I will. Number 3 for me, Matt Riddle.
Honestly, I can't even believe I didn't make him an honorable mention. I'll retroactively say he's an honorable mention for me. Okay. Because I haven't been as into his stuff.
Well, if that's the case, then 4 of my top 5 were in your honorable mentions.
I guess so. But yeah, talk about why Riddle ranked in your Fave 5 and made the cut, brother.
It's really unfortunate that he hasn't been as featured over the last couple months as he was going into TakeOver Toronto, I feel like. But still, like, the dude's amazing. And to be fair, he was relatively well featured in the Build the Survivor series, which I love, because like he and Keith Lee, alongside Adam Cole, of course, were like the most featured people. And it was great as far as the men go, obviously, because like Shayna was featured like hell too. But yeah, Riddle being given opportunities to work with main roster people has been great. I loved his performance in the Survivor Series match where he got an elimination and then immediately started celebrating only for Orton to come in. Actually, I think it was Orton that he eliminated. That's right. It was Orton that he eliminated, and then he celebrated because it's like, holy shit, I just eliminated like a legend in Randy Orton. And then Orton hits him with the RKO and Corbin comes in and eliminates. It was like, damn. But yeah, I just really like Matt Riddle. His performance, and if I remember correctly, his War Games performance was really, really good too. But like, yeah, he's just one of those. It really is that like pop factor for me. Like when Riddle comes out, I know we're about to get good shit no matter what. Because I just think that he's really fun on the mic. He's incredible in the ring. Legitimately, like probably one of the top 5 in-ring workers under the WWE umbrella right now. I know that that's hotly contested, but I think he's at least close to it, if not in it. And yeah, man, he has that it factor as well. Like I was talking about with Keith Lee and with Aleister Black, there's that charisma, that it factor that it just kind of makes them work for me. So yeah, he's my number 3.
Well said, man. Very well said. All right. This is where it gets fun. Number 3 for me.
Wow. Oh, wow. It just clicked for me who your top 3 were in some order, and I think I know who your 1 is, but I'm very curious here. Go ahead, 3.
Number 3, Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Okay.
He is so fucking good.
He is.
Oh, my God. Like, I gotta tell you, if they keep putting him on TV, he'll probably be, to me, maybe not as strongly. Maybe that's a bit too strong. But I think he could be, to a lesser degree, what Keith Lee is to Javaris, where Javaris just wants Keith Lee to just flourish and succeed. That is what Swerve is to me. Like, I want this dude to be North American champion. I want this dude in a War Games. I want this dude, if he would go to Raw or SmackDown, to be in a Money in the Bank ladder match. I want him to show what he can do, even if his ceiling is being like the Matt Riddle of this particular era. And just being the guy that goes out and have great matches. Maybe he gets the mid-card nod every once in a while. Like, I think he has the charisma of a main event guy, but maybe not necessarily the look because, height and stuff like that. But he's just so smooth. He makes wrestling look cool, the way that he moves. It's so like, that is such a weird thing to say about a performer. I don't think I've ever had a soundbite like that on the years that we've been doing TWitWoW. But
he just is cool. Like, he embodies cool.
Yeah, like, he comes
He's
out.
He's like fucking Wesley Snipes or something, for Christ's sake.
Dude, right? Like, he comes out with these shades, comes out with the hairstyle, like, just chill as fuck, knowing, like, unlike Dolph Ziggler, that's like, I'm gonna steal your girlfriend. Now Swerve's like, can I get your number? And just, like, all smooth, like, I'm gonna get you a drink, we're gonna talk about you, but you're gonna be thinking about me the entire time. Like, smooth. Like, I just look at, and then he wrestles. And the things he does in that goddamn ring, it's like, again, he's so fucking cool. Like, I can't get over it, man. It's awesome. I really want to see him and Roderick have a series of matches this year for that North American Championship. Like, I'm telling you, the dude's talent is undeniable. And you know something too? I almost feel like this is me. Although, to be fair, I do believe I had at times kill shot in my Lucha Underground Fave Fives when Lucha Underground was still a thing.
Yep.
And I think it's kind of a carryover there. Like, the dude is right where he's supposed to be in terms of him being a wrestler. I would not want this dude to be anything else. He's right where he needs to be. I love watching his matches. When he wins the championship, I'm probably going to pop. And yeah, I think NXT is going to use him a lot better than if Raw or SmackDown would decide to scoop him up, honestly. But I'm just enjoying the ride, and I hope he becomes North American champion this year. That would be so fucking awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, you had him as high as number 4 in your Lucha Underground Fave 5 back in 2018.
Well, he's made my number 3 now, so he's slowly climbing up that ladder, but he's doing it with all the
I do find it interesting, though, that he was higher on your NXT Fave 5 this time around than he ever was for your Lucha Underground Fave 5.
I don't know, man, because I like
maybe just like less competition because Lucha Underground had such amazing characters across the board.
It did, man.
Yeah.
It did. Pour one out for the homies. But yeah, man, like, you keep talking about a Los Ingobernables US. Like, I know Swerve doesn't really fit the mold, but he's so fucking chill. Like, can he just get an honorary membership? Like,
I mean, Los Ingobernables members don't have to all be Hispanic.
That's true. I think you could give him a fucking shirt and he'd pull that shit off. He'd be like,
Hell yeah.
I am body tranquilo.
Put him in a fucking suit and a mask and have him take 13 minutes to strip before a match.
Bruh, you've already set me enough thinking about the shades and him being an Jesus Wesley Snipes. God damn. I mean, I've lately, with how many men that I genuinely believe are handsome, I've taken to describing myself more as like hetero flexible, and when it comes to Swerve, emphasis on the flexible. God damn, son. So who is number 3 for you, man?
Well, Matt Riddle was number 3 for me. And
Matt Riddle was number 3 for you, so who's number 2? Yeah.
Well, you already know Keith Lee's number 2, so I want to know who your number 2 is before we get into our number 1.
Oh, shit, oh my God, yeah. See, I knew I'd get tied up eventually on these lists. Because
this is why happens. I write these things down as we go.
See, you're the responsible one. Number 2.
One of us has to be.
Number 2, and I can't believe this. Again, this really shook out to be a crazy Fave 5. Angel Garza.
I knew it. And now I know who your number 1 is, so we both know who each other's number 1s are.
I love him. He's charismatic. He's so fucking good in the ring. And again, though, I feel like if he was Alberto Del Rio's height, Vince would want him immediately, and maybe he would win the world. Well, then again, though, it is still an era of monsters right now with Brock and The Fiend, but I would just have to feel like eventually that dude would be a world champion if he was a bit taller. But fuck me. I hate that size could still be an issue. And I know, like, Kofi succeeded recently, and Bryan's one of the most overacts in the company, but I still feel like WWE is always going to be partial to a certain aesthetic. But Angel Garza, man, he's so charismatic. A lot like Swerve, he's very smooth, has got a natural charm, fucking dope in the ring. Oh my God, so inspired with the ring. The removing of the pants, the idea that he's kept it going for this long. And
the idea that he uses it as like an actual utility to make his matches more interesting. And it's not just like a fucking Taichi spot where, oh, I'm going to pull the pants off and hit my super kick now, is amazing to me.
Dude. He, again, another guy a lot like Swerve, like, he was made for this fucking business. Yep. If wrestling first and foremost is about entertainment, he's one of the best people working in this company right now, regardless of size or any of that bullshit.
Absolutely.
If it's about entertainment, this dude is amazing as fuck.
We need to team him up with, if Andrade does break up with Zelina, we need to team him up with Garza and just call him Team Panty Droppers.
Yeah, yes.
Team Drip.
Dude, he even got me to pop for a real life proposal. Like, how is it that the faces of the company did one and I'm like, and this guy who just won the Cruiserweight title and is more associated with 205 Live, right? I'm like, yeah, Garza, get it. So I'm all about it, man. I'm all about it. He's so much fun to watch. His matches with Leo have been great. In fact, even thinking back to our list, you could have made an argument that was like underrated match of the year. Those 2 matches that they had, because I felt like they were very entertaining.
Especially the second one where Garza won the title and then proposed to his girlfriend afterwards, like you mentioned.
I mean, dude, yeah, that really should have made my list, honestly. Retroactively, I'll give it an honorable mention. But, yeah, I just can't wait for his reign as Cruiserweight Champion to really commence. Yeah. And, honestly...
I mean, dude, this just means that we could get another match between him and Swerve, like what we got on the pre-show of TakeOver War Games.
Yeah, dude, I want to see him in the ring with Finn Balor. I want to see him in the ring with the big guys.
Balor isn't big. Balor was big. I mean big in
like
terms main event level.
Yeah, like big in terms of name. Like,
dude, Balor, Gargano, even.
Dude, I want Angel Garza to try and kiss Adam Cole's cheek or some shit. Play those mind games that Adam Cole just doesn't look at this. Like,
and that's the thing. That's the really interesting thing about NXT is that it really does basically have like 2 completely different sizes, because you've got like the heavyweight class where you've got Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic and like Bronson Reed and Damian Priest and Killian Dane, and you could even put like Riddle and Velveteen Dream in there, and then you've got the smaller guys in that. You've got all the cruiserweights, plus you've got Balor and Gargano and Ciampa and the fucking champion himself, Adam Cole. You know, like there are a lot of smaller guys in NXT that could absolutely work with Garza that would look great. And even if you want to put Garza against the literal bigger guys, imagine Angel Garza versus Keith Lee. Are you kidding me? Keith Lee, I mean, Keith Lee is an athletic dude, but he's an even better power dude.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Shit, if he could yeet Adam Cole into the crowd, imagine what he could do to Garza.
Oh my good lord. All right.
That needs to be a North American Championship match over the next 2 years.
Yes. I already know you're number one, but I never get tired of hearing you celebrate this person because somebody has to on this podcast, apparently.
Yeah, because you never give this person any goddamn love because you're obsessed with her BFF.
Hey, her BFF is amazing, okay? Somebody needs to love her too.
I mean, yeah, I'm not challenging that, but at least I give her BFF credit. She was number 2 on my Fave 5. Half of my number 2.
Yeah, so who's your number 1, even though we all know what's coming?
The best women's wrestler in the world, Io Shirai, especially now that Kagetsu's retiring. That's now completely uncontested.
yeah, really.
Io's the best, man. She's amazing. I mean, even if you just want to look at this grading period, she's had multiple great matches. She moonsaulted off the fucking War Games cell. Like, she's amazing. She's unstoppable. The worst thing to me about this grading period for Io is that she wasn't featured more in the build to Survivor Series. I really wanted to see her more, and it was good to see her in the match, but even then, she got fucking injured early on, or feigned an injury early on, however you want to look at it, and didn't show up until the end of the match. So it was disappointing, but she's still, just from an entertainment standpoint, and like, nobody gets me more excited than her, and that's why I was so angry that we missed her match with Santana Garrett. That pissed me off more than anything.
Oh yeah, dude, I can imagine. I felt for you there. To be fair, you and I both, and I know quite a few other people did vote for her as NXT Award Female, so we'll see if she pulled it off tonight.
Yes.
Because I will say, I may not be like the biggest Io fan, but the woman's fucking dope, in the ring. Like, I watch her compete. I honestly hope she's the one to take the title off Rhea, truthfully.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are on that bandwagon and consider me the fucking conductor.
Yeah, I certainly do. So yeah, Io's great. Hopefully she gets her due in 2020 and we can call her an NXT Women's Champion because I could really see her elevating that title. And you already know who my number 1 is.
Yeah, I was going to say, I love Io Shirai, but I bet she doesn't even believe in God.
But you know who does believe in God? The Carolina caveman, Cameron Grimes.
Yeah. I love it. Dude,
he's
your number 1. What?
I told you it was a crazy grading period.
I love it.
Dude.
God.
You talk about...
Who was your number 1 last time? Matt Riddle. What the hell happened to your Matt Riddle love?
It diminished.
Yeah, I was going to say, Grimes was on your Fave 5 last time, though. He was just number 5 on it.
Yeah, dude, I think that might be the first time somebody's ever jumped from 5 to 1.
I'm sure there have been instances where somebody jumped from an honorable mention or not even on the list to 1. Come on now.
I mean, dude, I don't know, though, man. I have to challenge that. I mean, knowing you'll probably snoop through and be like, aha! On this
I was going to say, do you really want to
year,
challenge the guy with the records?
Yeah, the guy that's anal about it. Not necessarily right now, but either way, to make that kind of leap, even if it has been done before, it doesn't change the fact. That's some springs in those shoes, baby. Oh my god!
Oh, you're getting scolded by Javaris for having Cameron Grimes over Keith Lee.
Javaris,
I like how he won't argue with me because then he can acknowledge that Io's just amazing and that she totally is. If anyone is deserving of being ranked above Keith Lee, it's Io, and she's the only one that I had over him. But Cameron Grimes, bro, like I love Cameron Grimes too, so I can't even argue with you. But Javaris is just so much of a Keith Lee fan.
I mean, I'm disappointed he's still not richer than Jeff Bezos. You don't see me throwing it in his face. But anyway.
Wow.
Cameron Grimes. You talk about how you were disappointed seeing Io versus Santana. I'm disappointed we didn't see Cameron Grimes beating fucking Kushida or getting to react to it. Because that would have been amazing to just rub that in Kushida's face. He's so fucking good in the ring, and he's still so young. Isn't he only 25?
Dude, he's younger than 25, isn't he?
I thought he was 25 at this point.
I thought he was 23 or 24. Oh, shit. I was both wrong. He's 26.
Oh, wow. Well, I was closer, though, so I will take that half point at least. But, yeah, no, he's still young enough to make a big splash in the WWE.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, and...
Jesus Christ, Cliff is going the fuck off on Cameron Grimes in chat. Because Javaris said Cameron over Keith Lee. John, I'm kind of disappointed in you. And then Cliff piggybacked off of that. He went, it's pretty indefensible. He doesn't even shower. I went to PWG shows. I can confirm. He smells like he's 80.
That just shows that he's living the fucking gimmick.
Right, though?
It's such an endearing gimmick that this guy is like a high-class hack that can wrestle. And I only say high-class because I'm going to be honest. He's my number one, so I'm going to lean all into it. I dig the fucking hat. I dig the aesthetic. Come at me, baby. It fucking works. I mean, dude, he's so fucking good in the ring. Honestly,
I want them to give him more mic time.
I want them to give him more mic time, and I gotta be truthful, dude. It's such a weird place for me right now with the WWE because a lot of the era that we're in, it's good. Like, I love that Bray's getting his run at the top on the main roster. I love that the Undisputed Era on NXT fulfilled the prophecy. And I'm not trying to be that fan that's always looking for the next thing, but yeah, I think we're always like naturally pretty forward thinking, and I can't help but think about Cameron Grimes with that North American Championship. And I feel like he'd be a great heel champion for it, dude. I think he'd have fucking bangers with baby faces. I think his promos would be funny as fuck. I think if you gave him more mic time, there's a very good chance he could have my quote of the year 2020.
Yeah.
And I just love him. I love every time he comes out. I get excited every time he comes out because I'm like, who's he facing? I still say
I still want him to cut a promo on fucking Bronson Reed talking about, oh, what's the matter? You born in Australia? What? You come over here because you couldn't ride any kangaroos because you're too fat? Just go all the way with the asshole stereotyping, insulting everything.
You're getting too good at that every time he doesn't get mic time, I'm just going to grease your palm to be like, cut a Cameron promo for me. Remind me what it feels like.
You know, I'm going to do my best to come up with something clever on the spot, too, like every time.
Like, you showed me that promo.
Oh, God. Cliff said that he wants Cameron to cut a promo on Cassius. Oh, no. Pillsbury Doughboy motherfucker over here.
The only thing people say "oh no" about is when they see you in the front of the line of the Dunkin' Donuts because you're so fat. But yeah.
Damn, Cassius, I thought your last name was Ono, not Michelin Man.
So
sweet at that? That was so bad.
Yeah, but it was so Cameron as well, and that's why it works.
That's true.
The dude deserves to be a champion in 2020. You want to talk about War Games teams? I'd love to see him on the heel side in 2020 for War Games. Like, oh have him fucking, because he thrives in the PWG environment. You load that cage.
Here's
with
a bold
weapons,
prediction: 2020's Takeover War Games will be the first War Games match, or the first pay-per-view, or whatever you want to call it, to not feature the Undisputed Era in a War Games match because they'll be on Raw or SmackDown by then.
Dude, it better fucking not. Adam Cole's got a main event WrestleMania eventually. What the fuck?
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, that's NXT, dude. This is probably the favorite top 5 that I got because it was just so fucking different, dude. Yeah. Like, Swerve, Garza, and Cameron Grimes rounded out my top fucking 3 this grading period. That may never happen again. I don't know. But, man, it was awesome. So now we move on.
3 dudes that literally debuted with NXT this year.
Yes. Yes.
And like within the last, I want to say the last 6 months even, because it's relatively recently.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah. Before we move on, my mom's NXT Fave 5.
That's right.
She actually, you guys got to realize, prior to like a year or 2 ago, my mom was never a fan of women's wrestling. She was always more into the guys wrestling because she always kind of treated it as more of like a, I don't know, like fucking window shopping. Like she's just looking at the dudes and how hot they are and shit. But she got into women's wrestling because of Shayna Baszler. And it was really a combination of Shayna Baszler and Mercedes Martinez in that first Mae Young Classic that really got her into it. But she now, so her number 5 now is Mia Yim. Number 4 is Rhea Ripley. So she's already got multiple women in her Fave 5 for NXT. 3 is Ciampa, 2 is Riddle, and then 1 is Shayna, of course, because I think Shayna is just like her favorite thing in wrestling, all of wrestling right now.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I love that she's getting more into women's wrestling because God knows her doing window shopping. I've used so much chloroform. I'm so tired.
All right. Guess what, though, brother? It's time to move on to our New Japan Fave 5s.
All right, brother. I'm excited for this one, too, because I still love New Japan, even though
I might throw you for a little bit of a loop with my number 1 on this.
Ooh, I'm excited now. Just want to say too, like, I fucking adore New Japan. I know Stardom like snatched it from New Japan right in the bottom of the 9th for Brand of the Year, but when New Japan's good, it's fucking transcendent.
Yeah.
And so my honorable mentions: El Phantasmo, Ibushi, Okada.
Oh, Ibushi, nice.
Okada. Jay
Okada.
White.
Oh, wait. Was there a name between Ibushi and Okada?
No.
Okay.
So El Phantasmo,
Ibushi, Okada. Yeah.
Okada. Jay White.
Okay.
Gorillas of Destiny.
Nice.
Naito and Sonata.
All right, nice.
Okay, so how many of my honorable mentions were in your Fave 5?
1.
Not bad. Now I think I'm gonna make an educated assumption on who that is. But yeah, not bad.
Obvious. Yeah, it's the obvious one. Trust me.
Yeah, okay. It's like you're good, fam. I didn't change that much. What's your honorable mentions looking like for New Japan?
Well, I think I'm probably gonna. I'm genuinely thinking I'm gonna get like 4 of your top 5 in my honorable mentions. Honestly, so
okay.
Actually, it might only be 3 now that I think about it. So I'm gonna guess 3. Kenta, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Juice Robinson, Jay White, Jon Moxley, El Phantasmo, Gorillas of Destiny, Kota Ibushi, Toru Yano, Carl Fredericks, the young lion Carl Fredericks, Liu Lee, formerly known as Dragon Lee, Sonata, Sho from Roppongi 3K, and Yuji Nagata, because I just fucking love me some Nagata no matter what.
Yeah, you got 3. I
knew it. And I bet you I know who they are too, but I'm not going to spoil anything. So let's get into our actual Fave 5s. My friend, who did you have at number 5?
Jon Moxley.
I knew it. I knew it.
Which I'm sure you'll make your mom happy, because even though, of course, he's probably her number 1, he's just been so undeniably fucking good in New Japan.
Yeah, the weird thing to me, though, is that he literally, the only thing that he's done over this grading period is show up, DDT, Archer, and Suzuki, and cut a promo, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because this is post G1.
True. I'm just still enjoying the ride, though. I think he's a great fucking promo. He's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So he came in at number 5. Who's your number 5?
We do also pray. That's right. Will is my number 5 for this grading period. This is probably his weakest quarter, actually. Like, first quarter, won the Never Openweight title. Second quarter, won BOSJ and the junior title. Third quarter, had an amazing showing in the G1. Fourth quarter, I don't know, not as much. Which is why he's only number 5 and not higher for me. But still, he's an amazing performer, and I can't let him fall off my top 5 because of that. He's just too good to deny.
Fastest rising gaijin in New Japan in my mind right now. Like, because Jay White's already getting his push. Yeah. Will Ospreay, I think, is going to have a killer 2020. I hope
really so. Well, he's already had a killer 2019, but if he can duplicate the workhorse status of 2019 and combine that with a little bit more actual, like, success in 2020, he's going to be unstoppable.
Absolutely. All right. Coming in at number 4 for me, because see, here's the thing, Ashton. You know who I have on the list. I think where the element of surprise comes in is just what order they came in, potentially. So number 4 for me was Kenta.
I knew it. He was one of the other ones that I figured would be on here.
Yeah. What more can I say? Like, he did a video, I'm assuming like on Instagram or something, that he shared on Twitter, where he just said, like, on 205 Live, like, how much he's wrestled this year compared to, like, his last year with the company in WWE. He's just been wrestling so much more and getting to do so much more stuff. And he seemed so grateful. And that was just really endearing to me. And whether people feel like he's lost a step because of injuries, or maybe he just got too used to the WWE style, or what, I still find him entertaining as fuck in New Japan. I think when you give him the right opponent, his matches are really good. Looking at you, Stone Pupper. Kenta is fucking awesome. And honestly, even, like, because I've seen his Noah stuff, and that's where I think he'll go down as a fucking legend, because his Noah stuff, like, it blows your fucking mind, reassembles it, only to blow it again. But just seeing how much fun he's having, that makes me love him even more. And yeah, that's why he didn't rank as high compared to these other people, but I still wanted to show him some love, because what a story, and he's doing great things in New Japan right now. So, awesome shit.
Yeah. All right. I love it. Yeah, man. Kenta. And this is the perfect corner, the perfect quarter of the year to have him in your Fave 5 too, because this is his heel turn, joining Bullet Club, winning the Never title, defending it against Ishii and Yoshihashi, and soon to be Goto. So yeah, it was a hell of a quarter for Kenta for sure. Number 4 for me though might be surprising to some, and this was the one that I said, you know, this was the obvious one that you knew would be on my list, but it might be surprising how low I have him. Tetsuya Naito.
Oh, okay. I knew he was going to be on your list, but it is a bit surprising he's that low. But still, walk us through.
It's honestly, I think it's mostly just from lack of exposure. Like, I just feel like we haven't seen much of him. Kind of similar to the Ospreay situation, but again, like, he's my boy, so I can't have him not in my Fave 5, you know?
Absolutely, man.
But
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, if he's not in my Fave 5 for Post-Mania, that's when you might have to start worrying, because that might mean that he doesn't win the double gold dash that we're getting into this weekend. I'm very hyped for it, but it hasn't happened yet, so I can't really have Naito ranked too much higher. Plus, like, really, it's also kind of just like a cooling off for me. Like, I do love Naito, and I don't know if there will ever come a time that I don't love Naito, unless he just kind of reverts to the Stardust Genius shit that he was doing before the LIJ thing started up. But yeah, like, he's still amazing. He's still charismatic. He still has great matches, but I just feel like I haven't seen enough of him to have him ranked higher, you know?
Dude, that's completely understandable. All right. Number 3 for me, Minoru Suzuki.
Ooh, he was number 2 for me, though.
I'm going to keep it short then, because I know our rule, we like to, you know, let the person with the higher ranking get more time. I'm just going to quote myself from the award show yesterday. The true last outlaw of professional wrestling, and a goddamn legend. Go.
I mean, was Royal Quest before? That was in August, right? It was August 31st.
That sounds right to me.
So it doesn't count for this grading period again. So, but yeah, I mean, Suzuki's still amazing. Suzuki is sort of, to me, like, I think for the last 2. I think at least the last one. Is it the last 2? No, it's just the last one. So the last 5 Fave Fives that we did, Suzuki was number 1 for both of us. And the only reason that I didn't feel like I could move him down past 2 is because, again, I just feel like we haven't gotten enough. I almost feel like we haven't watched enough New Japan over the last few months or anything, because we've seen, like, what, 2 of their pay-per-views, because we watched Power Struggle and King of Pro Wrestling, and I think that might be the only New Japan shows that we've watched over the last few months. So I really feel like it's unfortunate that we've kind of been so restricted with our New Japan viewing, but based on the fact that I didn't feel like I could move anybody other than who I currently have at number 1 above Suzuki, he was almost number 2 by default for me, based on the fact that I had him number 1 last time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, I really want to see him win the world title. I don't think it's going to happen, but dude, if he did, you want to talk about markouts? Jesus fucking Christ. I would streak naked into the river that's next to my house. Like, I would just be so
Don't be going getting pneumonia now.
And my neighbors would be like, the fuck are you doing? I'd be like, you don't understand. Suzuki-sama finally became my WGP champion. And they'd be like, I didn't understand a single word in that sentence. And I'm like,
and then you'd be like, I told you need to understand, but you don't.
Yeah, exactly. So coming in, actually, no, wait, because he was number 2 for you. So who was your number 3?
My number 3 was Tomohiro Ishii. Yeah, baby.
Oh, now see, you're gonna have to concede time to me because he was my number 1.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay then. He's one of the best in-ring performers in the world, and I'm done. Go.
Echoed, seconded. He's just, God, like, Ishii, at least from the in-ring standpoint, because I don't know him as a person. That's kind of the endearing thing about New Japan, is I'll never really know these people the same way that I know our American counterparts. One, because of the language barrier and everything else. So there is an upside to being hopelessly monolingual. But just what I can tell about him in the ring, he's like everything right with professional wrestling. Yeah. I love that a guy that looks like he does.
Wow, I'm really surprised that Ishii leapfrogged Suzuki for you like that. That's crazy to me.
It's just, man, they're both so fucking good. It's hard for me sometimes, man. It really is. It really fucking is. But, like, I can tell you.
Is it because of the role that he played in Kenta's heel turn and then the whole never open weight stuff and everything like that?
He just makes everybody he works with look so good without making himself look worse. That's the thing. Like, Ishii has that uncanny ability to look at his absolute best, but in a way that doesn't expose or out anybody that he's working with.
Yeah.
Like, I love
not outwardly, at least, because, like, when we look at it and we're thinking about it, it's like, damn, Ishii just did something that you are supposed to be, like, specialized in, and he did it better than you. How, like, what does that say about you?
Dude, this like, okay, I'm just gonna keep it real with everybody. First of all, this chat, we've cultivated a very passionate fan base over the years, and we share a lot of the same hopes and dreams. I know for a fucking fact that if Ishii won the world title, him or Suzuki, we'd be like fucking Chicagoans with the Cubs, even though they already did it now. The drought's over. But if they won the World Series, well, they were still in a drought. We'd all be
Chicagoans when CM Punk won the world title in 2011.
Exactly. No, we'd be fucking raucous as shit. Yeah. It'd be unbelievable. This dude, and again, this is the part where I said I'm just going to keep it real with everybody. This no-neck, stout-looking motherfucker does poison Ranas like he's fucking AJ Styles or Will Ospreay. Does an amazing shooting star press. Better than the fuck. We've seen the shooting. Oh, no, excuse me. I'm sorry. I misspoke. Sharpshooter is what I meant to say.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I would believe it, but I would still need to see it.
Dude, there was one. You know what the funny thing is? Ishii in that way is kind of the Scott Steiner of our time because I don't know who circulated this rumor. But I remember seeing a rumor somewhere, it might have been on a No DQ forum for me, that there was footage of Scott Steiner doing a shooting star press. I scoured the internet for that shit. Couldn't find anything. So I think it was just a myth. But if somebody said that about Ishii, I'd be like, show me that fucking footage.
Yeah, it wouldn't be this immediate, like, no, the fuck he didn't reaction. It would be like, oh my God, I knew it. We need to see it now.
I'd be like, oh my God, I bought lotion at exactly the right time.
Yeah. Like if you told me that like Becky Lynch did a shooting star press, or staying with the guys, if you told me that like even like Keith Lee, who can do moonsaults, but I would not buy him being able to do a shooting star press, or like for example, let me think of someone else, Baron Corbin doing a shooting star press, or even if we want to talk about like smaller guys, like see, I would totally believe Chad Gable being able to do it, so that's not fair. Like Adam Cole. Adam Cole's an athletic dude, but I would not be able to believe him doing a shooting star press. But you tell me Ishii did one, I'm like, okay, fine, awesome, let me see it, please.
This guy just like, it's not fair. He does a better sharpshooter than the Hart family.
I mean, hell, dude, shooting star presses are fucking hard. Hazuki, who you know is athletic as hell, tried to incorporate a shooting star press side, tried to make that her new finisher at the end of the year last year, botched it twice and gave up. Never tried it again.
That man is a graceful bird. I'm telling you, he hasn't shown us. He is a graceful fucking bird.
I mean, we did get to see him fly this year. Remember, he flew off the top rope into a table on Moxley.
And it actually looked, it was clean. It was a clean break, a solid spot. Like,
you just got to work the backflip in there while you're going forward.
Think of your favorite wrestler ever. So for me, you know, favorite wrestler of all time, Benoit, and then obviously after that, you know, Morrison. He could probably do a better Starship Pain than Morrison and a better crossface than Benoit. Like, anything your fave can do that you cherish, like, you're just thinking to yourself,
she can do better.
Exactly. Like, oh man, nobody does a frog splash like Eddie. She, like, I'm just always gonna be that person in your motherfucking life, in your Twitter feed, wherever you are. You'll never be able to reminisce about your fave safely as long as Ishii exists, because whatever they do, this man does it better. Fact.
Someone's just like, but wait, Ricochet's my favorite. Can Ishii do a 630? We haven't seen it, but I bet she probably fucking could have tried.
And dude, the thing is, scaling it back just a tad and getting back to more serious, like, we say that, but that just shows you how good he is in the ring. That, like, you probably in good faith overestimate what he can do, because what he does so fucking well.
Yeah.
Like, he gives people consistently their best matches, which I've never seen him get a thank you card for, which should be a national crime in Japan.
What's wrong with people? Shit.
I know. Dude, the audacity. The audacity. He's made the never openweight title to the point where I'm sick of him making the never openweight title. I want to see him as Intercontinental champion,
please. If we're never going to, like, the world will be corrected when Ishii and Suzuki are the IWGP Intercontinental and World Heavyweight Champions respectively at the same fucking time.
Yes. I root for him in every fucking G1.
Yep.
And every time he's going against the world champion or a guy that's like higher than him, I'm always.
Dude, I know you've been saying you want Ospreay to win the New Japan Cup in 2020. I'm behind Ishii.
Dude, you gotta understand. Emotional people, when they're in it, like a Suzuki or Ishii, emotional picks always get it. But just looking at who's on the rise, like Ospreay's stock is undeniable. But Ishii, when he was in the New Japan Cup last year, I'm like, oh, please, Ishii, win it and challenge fucking Jay White and Madison Square Garden. But I was like, of course, ROH fucking ruins everything. If it was just a regular New Japan Cup and it was Sakura Genesis, like when Ospreay won, or excuse me, when Zack Sabre Jr. won 2 years ago, that would have been fine. But of course, ROH has to fucking ruin everything. And so
fucking Ring of Honor. Ain't nobody got time for no fucking Ring of Honor.
Dude, when that company goes under, I hope there's a way to call into Bully Ray's podcast so that I could just laugh at him until he hangs up. Like, I want to laugh at him because he hasn't been laughed at enough, and it shows. So, yeah. Ishii's the fucking man. He deserves everything, but if he can only get one thing, give him the Intercontinental title for a decent run. He'd make that fucking shit. He'd make that fucking
what
title.
A run it would be.
Dude, my pants. Like, amazing. So that was my number one. I leapfrog because he came in at what, number 3 for you?
Yeah, he was my number 3, and you already know my number 2 is Suzuki, so who was your number 2?
Juice!
I knew it.
Dude, he's so fucking endearing.
He
my
is.
favorite guy, Jin. Kevin Owens' his favorite wrestler, apparently, because whenever he sees Juice's stuff on Twitter, he always kind of acknowledges it. Or when he sees it on New Japan, I guess, because I don't see Juice on Twitter. It's like
he's not much of a Tweety boy, is he?
Yeah, I guess not. At the risk of being like maudlin or like melodramatic, like we live in an age in wrestling that I would say is very invasive and very cynical because of social media. Like you look at Becky and Seth's relationship, I see a lot of people like want to know every little detail about that. You know, everybody always deconstructing the match or the performer, so there's like no magic left. Look, I'm guilty of it too. This isn't a judgment. It's just a statement of the era we're in. When I hear Juice talk and I hear him cut a promo and I see him be that baby face, it gets me, man. And I buy in. And, like, I'm telling you, when we think about freakouts and markouts that you and I want to organically produce on the channel, like when our fave does that, say, like, if Io became NXT Women's Champion or such and whatever, if Juice were to beat a Naito or an Okada in
honestly,
G1, like,
I was going to say, I don't even know if I would mark out for Io winning the women's title just because I feel like she's been owed it for so long.
Yeah, you'd just be like, about time.
About fucking time. Yeah, you damn right.
Yeah, but, like, if Juice, like he did a few years ago against Kenny, like if he were to beat a Naito or an Okada in a G1, I would lose my fucking shit. And he would lose his fucking shit, which is what makes him so endearing. Because I still go back to this day and I watch his reaction to beating Kenny. And like, as soon as he gets the 3 count, his face almost just like changes into like, he's like almost crying.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, fuck. And he hugs Red Shoes. And it's just, it makes me smile. Like if there are some people that like want more positivity in wrestling, and I always come back with positivity has to be earned. You can't freely give it. Juice earns my positivity because he's so fucking good on the mic and he's so fucking good in the ring, and he's not even a flashy type. And he even says himself in interviews, I don't want to be the flashy type. I want to be more like the Bret Harts and stuff like that. You know, I'll roll a motherfucker up, he says. And yeah, I root for him in everything he does. I'm honestly getting tired of him being associated with the U.S. title. I would like to see him get some big upset wins this year. And, maybe even have a shot at the Intercontinental or World title this year. Anything can happen. Just all I know is I'm aboard the Juice caboose, baby. It's a great fucking time. So, who is your number one, man?
This is the one that people wouldn't be expecting, because this is the one that, man, I gotta tell you, I don't think I've gone back and rewatched anything in New Japan other than this person, and that's it. So I'm just going to come right out and say I'm not going to beat around the bush. It's Hiromu Takahashi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. I got to tell you,
it.
I've gone back and I have rewatched his return 3 or 4 times. And that's like, you know how I am. I don't rewatch shit in wrestling. I've rewatched probably 3 or 4 times, yeah. And
dude, that's amazing.
Return, like the him coming out, him throwing himself into the guardrails, him bumping around the ring like a madman, asking Ospreay for the mic, challenging him for the title, calling him a big strong man, and then the even the post-match promos from both Hiromu and Ospreay. I have watched all that shit multiple times since it's happened because Hiromu, before he got injured, if I remember correctly, he was already my number 1. So let me actually just go back and reconfirm this. I want to make sure that I'm not talking out my ass. My New Japan Fave 5 from April of 2018. Number 1, Hiromu Takahashi. And yep, the first time that we see him back since that point, and he's number 1 again where he belongs. He's my favorite New Japan performer. It's just, that's it. And I know that there's something special going on there too, because like when I show him to other people, they don't get it. Like they're just like,
yeah,
he's kind of weird, whatever. And like, oh, he's got red hair, that's weird. But like, just like, it's almost like with Nakamura. Like when I first saw Nakamura, there was just that instant electricity, that instant connection where it's like, this dude's fucking amazing. I can't explain it. I just want to see more of him. That's how it is with Takahashi, but it's been prolonged for long enough now that I think that I can say that it's not just like a flash of lightning in a bottle, you know?
Bro, I gotta tell you, like, I always knew you liked Hiromu, obviously. I didn't know that the love went this deep, which retroactively makes me feel even worse that Hiromu got injured.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think I even realized how deep it went until he came back and I realized how much I fucking missed him.
Yeah, because, dude, that breaks my heart all over again. I mean, he's back now, so we can all rejoice, but it breaks my heart all over again that, like, he even got injured because he was so hot before he got hurt.
Yeah.
And I could tell he was about to – and I even said, like, he'll probably – for the record, guys, he'll probably make my Fave Fives, too, when I start actually seeing him compete again and we actually start covering shows that he's on because he's so fucking talented. Because I remember even before he got hurt, I was saying, oh, he's going to make the junior division cool. He's going to bring a revolution to it because it was – we were in the Kushida era so fucking long. And
now it feels like the Will Ospreay era, but Hiromu might be the one to disrupt that and send Ospreay to the heavyweights permanently.
I mean, dude, here's the thing, too, and here's what's doubly heartbreaking, because first of all, on the positive side, I was grinning like an idiot the whole time we were talking, because to have somebody that you care about them, dude, that's so fucking awesome, first of all. Second of all,
I mean, dude, I don't know if you remember, but early on this year, like, well, last year now, because it's 2020 now, but early on in 2019, I was really, like, keeping up with what was basically Hiromu Watch, where he would report, like, oh, I'm this percent back, ready to be back or something. And it was like when it gets to 1,000%, people think he's going to come back, or 10,000% or whatever it was. I was like up on that, and I was like paying attention. And people were coming up with projections and stuff, and I was getting excited at shows. But then, like, it kept not happening, so I ended up just giving up. So now, the fact that he came back as recently as he did, you know, he was gone for a year and a half. And, like, yeah, man, I missed the hell out of that dude.
And he was talking, too, before he got hurt about how he wanted to become world champion, too. And he had these plans. I hope he hasn't given up on himself, because I still feel like, despite this setback, he could be a top face of this company. He's just got a look that's like, and who always gets the most over in wrestling? People that are the fucking outliers. You know, you look at like a fucking Stone Cold who was chugging beer and throwing middle fingers. You know, people like that. Daniel Bryan, who got his face compared to looking like a fucking goat, became the goat. And Hiromu, I think, is in that same vein. The dude is eccentric as fuck, but it works. And like, I'm so happy he's back. I'm even more so now knowing what he means to you, because like I love like when we just have people that we back. I've always been that type of guy.
Dude. I mean, I guess that it was kind of implied, but I'll come out and say it right now. Him and Ospreay is my most anticipated Wrestle Kingdom match.
Dude, fuck yeah! Which we're previewing. We're previewing Wrestle Kingdom on Friday. Everybody.
Friday, baby, Friday.
It's gonna be such good shit. But yeah, man, dude. I can't even top that. I don't want to top that. What you said about Hiromu was beautiful. That's why this is my favorite video series that we do. And I couldn't think of a better way to punctuate the New Japan category. So now, moving on to one that I'm also excited about, because it's actually more organic this time, now that we've had more time with these women. Stardom!
Stardom, yes! Well, before we move on fully to Stardom, I want to just list off my mom's New Japan Fave 5.
Oh, of course, of course.
At 5, she had Jay White. 4, Juice Robinson. 3, Lance Archer. 2, Tama Tonga. And 1, obviously, Jon Moxley.
Nice. Dude, I'm going to let you know right now for Stardom, you're probably not going to be surprised by any of the women on my list. It might surprise you, though, where ultimately they ranked.
I'm very curious where you rank certain people. I think this is going to be the biggest surprise list for me, too, as far as like people not being prepared for where I have certain people ranked. Because I will say, Arisa Hoshiki has been unseated as my number 1. She's no longer number 1 on my list.
Yeah, actually, yeah, speaking of, who's giving their honorable mentions first on this one? I think it's you, right? Because I gave my honorable mentions first for New Japan. So, yeah, you go first.
All right. But like I said, Arisa was number 1 on my last list. She's not number 1 on this list anymore, but she is in it. But she's the only carryover. She's the only person that I have on both this list and our last Fave 5. Everyone else is different.
Yeah. Okay.
Honorable mentions. Some of these are probably going to be like, whoa, that person's not even on your list. But yeah, honorable mentions. Kagetsu. Mayu Iwatani. Hazuki. Unfortunately, the last time she's ever going to be on this list. Fuck, I hate it. Hana Kimura. Konami. Utami Hayashishita. Momo Watanabe. Natsu Sumire. Tam Nakano. And Starlight Kid.
Shockingly, you only had 2 of your honorable mentions in my Fave 5. I thought it would be a lot more.
I'm betting we're going to have quite a bit in common in our Fave 5s. All
right. My honorable mentions, I'm just going to keep it very brief. I'm going to let everybody know right now, too, just in case people have questions. Kagetsu and Hazuki didn't make either of my honorable mentions or my favorite. I'm just going to be very blunt about that because they're on the way out, and I'd rather just pull the Band-Aid off quick in that regard. So I didn't even want to give them the space because
I just wanted to give it to them because it's the last time we're ever going to be able to give Hazuki kind of ranking at all. And Kagetsu's still going to be around for another month. So
that is, I mean, dude, and that's totally fair. And I totally get that. I just wanted to explain my rationale on my side of things.
Yep, totally get it.
So honorable mentions for me, Utami, Jungle Kiona, Natsu Sumire, Julia, and Hoshino.
All right. Damn. Okay. You have one person on your honorable mentions is in my Fave 5. So we have
I gotta be honest, yeah, that's how I like
it. We very likely have 2 Fave 5s in common, and I think I know exactly who they are too.
All right, coming in. Well, actually, no, you go first for number 5 for you, right? So
yeah, man, and this is gonna be probably the biggest shocker of them all. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Number 5 on my Stardom Fave 5 is Saya Kamitani.
Actually, I'm not surprised because I think she'll rank higher as she progresses, but I knew she'd break for you. Yeah. So yeah, talk about it, man. You've been like Dude, advocating for her since day one. So
I almost feel like I would have had Utami ranking this highly if we would have started following Stardom a year earlier because of the fact that it was like that idea of being able to watch her from her debut grow as a performer. You know what I mean? Like that is really appealing to me. Being able to literally watch somebody debut. Like I've seen this person's first ever wrestling match in front of a real crowd. That has such an appeal to me. And especially when it turns out, oh, by the way, they're actually fucking talented too. So that's a big part of it for me with Kamitani and why I feel such a connection with her. But really the fact that we have this like 22, 23-year-old rookie who's been wrestling for 4.5 months at this point, who's out here doing cartwheel knee drops and doing running shooting star presses, and a lot of them lately especially have been she's been doing pretty well. Dude, I'm so excited, especially if she goes to a heel faction. I'm so fucking excited for her future because when she's allowed to kind of go full bully mode and kind of get that aggressiveness and like the heelishness in her matches, she is definitely one of my favorites in Stardom right now. And I just got to say, like, I really hope that she gets as far away from Saida as early as possible, as soon as possible, or as far away as possible, as soon as possible is what I was trying to say. Because I feel like her matches by herself or with other tag partners, like even with Hoshino, are so much better than her tag matches with Ida, because when she tags with Ida, she always limits her moveset and it's just drop kick after drop kick after drop kick after missile drop kick after drop kick. And I like when Kamitani's allowed to kind of flex her moveset because it is very impressive for someone as inexperienced as her.
Dude, all I'm going to say about Kamitani, I mean, her rate of growth in the ring, that she's like seemingly at a very healthy rate, adding new stuff to her moveset. She's refining what's already there, like the standing shooting star, and I love her commitment to it. She hasn't given up on herself with a move, because when she hits it, it does look great.
Well, and even when she does, quote unquote, botch it, it's not that she's like doing it in a way that hurts anybody. It's just she just misses.
Exactly. So I think it's a great finisher to start as she's still progressing. And again, the idea that she already has one that like makes you know, oh, that's Saya Kamitani. That's great. So early in her career too. I hope she takes the future of Stardom title off of Utami.
Yes.
And it makes me really happy that she made came in at number 5 for you. Number 5 for me, which honestly, it was even a shock to me because I'm like, who do I really pop for? And again, that's what I really started thinking. Like, am I just overthinking this? This is about being a fan. Number 5 was Arisa for me.
Nice.
Like,
okay.
I love her. I have the deepest respect in the world for her. She's adorable as fuck. And she's legit. You know, because you showed me the kickboxing video and she fucking literally kicks ass.
Yes.
Yeah, I think she's a future World of Stardom champion, maybe even this year.
And I was going to say, oh, shit, I guess I should have said something earlier, but she's number 3 on my list, yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry, I would have shut up seconds ago.
No, like I said, it just blanked. I was just like, yep, this makes sense. We have something in common. I never said anything about it.
Yeah, and
she was number 3 for me. Because remember, she was number 1 on my last list.
That's right. So I'm going to shut up now. I'm just going to say she's like so well-rounded and so incredible. It's just, compared to these other women, because this was a more organic list this grading period because we're more familiar with Stardom now.
Yeah.
She just kind of fell off for me a little bit. So, brother,
where did you have her ranked on our last one?
Did I even have her ranked on our last one?
No. Oh, yeah, you had her at 4 last time. So you're right. She did fall off a little bit for you.
Yeah, okay. So, why number 3 for you?
Well, yeah, and she fell off a little bit for me, too, but it wasn't because I don't like her as much. It's because I found 2 other people that just shot up my ranks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not so much... and I think that's one of the biggest appeals to Arisa is how accessible she is, because she's taller than a lot of girls. She has a very kind of pro wrestler look. Like, she's got a great build for pro wrestling. Like, she doesn't look too skinny like a Saki Kashima, who, I love Saki. I think she's great, but I think we can all kind of admit when they call her a bean sprout or whatever, we get it. Like, it's, she has a different look. Not to say that that's a bad thing, but Arisa's look is very sort of mainstream appealing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
She's adorable. She has an amazing smile. She cuts great promos. Sometimes she cuts adorable promos, sometimes she cuts fucking terrifying promos, talking about how she wants to, give Hazuki the gift of kicks or something, whatever that was. I forget what the exact line was, but yeah, she wants to thank Hazuki with her kicks. That's what it was. So yeah, she can cut terrifying promos too, but dude, her in the ring is just untouchable. She's incredible at this wrestling thing that we're talking about. She's so good. I love that she has such a deep move pool. Like, I wanted to say diverse, but it really isn't that diverse because it's mostly just kicks and knees, but it's so deep. And, like, everything that she does just looks so devastating that it's really easy to buy a lot of her finishers being finishers. And that actually annoys some people. I've actually seen, like, there were some people that I saw complaining that her $13.99 kick doesn't always end matches. And I'm just like, guys, she's beaten people with that move before, but when you're as high up on the card as some other people, like, she needs more. So, like, she's got $13.99, she's got Adamas, she's got the Shining Star Cutter now, she's got the Brazilian kick, and she's got Shining Impact. She's got so many fucking finishers. It's ridiculous, and I love it because, again, like, we just had the match with Konami. She boom, 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 rapid fire 3 straight in a row. She hit the Shining Star Cutter, then she hit the Brazilian kick, and then she hit the Shining Impact. Boom, 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 right in a row. And at that point, obviously, she's going to get the fucking 3 count. And I really like it when sequences are so obviously the finish that there's not even a question of whether they're going to kick out, because it's like there's this sense of finality, there's this sense of closure for that match. And there's like, well, obviously this person was better this time, but then we think back and it's like, wait a minute, Konami didn't hit anything. She didn't lock in any of her Lancers. It's like, well, maybe, it was like a strategy thing. And then, like, it leaves you open to wondering what could have happened if. And I just love that aspect of Japanese wrestling in general. Like, it's not just Stardom that does that. It's a lot of Japanese wrestling that does that, and I just love it. And Arisa, because she has so many finishers, is just a big-time beneficiary of it. And I think we've talked about this before. Arisa has been one half of like 4 or 5 different match of the year candidates to me this year. Like her match with Tam, her match with Hazuki, her 2 matches with Kagetsu, and I want to say that might be it.
Right.
The one with Konami that we just had that I almost forgot about. Yeah. So that is 5. So yeah, Arisa's been one half of 5 different potential match of the year candidates this year. She's that damn good.
She is. Her talent is fucking undeniable. Moving right along, you might even be a bit like, I know you wouldn't be actually offended because you're not that guy, but you might be a bit faux offended with this next one because you might think like, why aren't they ranked higher? Number 4 for me is Jamie Hayter.
Dude, Jamie's number 4 for me too.
Oh, thank God. Because, like, dude, I adore her.
She's so good, right? Yeah, dude, I'm so glad that we both had her at 4. That's awesome.
Because, dude, it's really just the other 3 women. Like, I've just gotten so into them lately. And it's like, you know what I think it is, dude? Honestly, I am so ready. And I don't know if I speak for you, too. So I'm just going to say I speak for myself here on this. I am so ready to get 250% behind her. She just needs to be 250% behind Stardom. Yeah. Go to Stardom full time.
Sign if you haven't already, because that's the thing. Jackie was pointing out in the Discord the other day that Jamie has one of the official Stardom jackets with her name on it. So I'm wondering if she.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, like I'm wondering if she did low key sign with them, like, you know, behind closed doors without anyone knowing about it, and she's going to be able to stick around, or if she is just going to have to leave in like January or February or whatever it is and come back later. So I'm really hoping that she's able to stick around, but we'll have to wait and see.
Dude, if she does, because here's the only reason I say that, dude. If she's full time with Stardom, she is guaranteed to be number 1 on my Fave 5, just from a probability standpoint. There is gonna be a Fave 5 that we do where she is number 1 because she is so.
It'll be good. Around this time next year after she wins the red belt at the year-end Climax 2020, baby.
Dude, please God, because, dude. You gave her the name Ann Hans, so I'm not going to try and take credit for that. Although, to be fair, like, I was even making the comparison Stan Hans, so I feel like we just kind of bounced off each other for that.
Yeah, because you came up with the inspiration. I just dropped the words.
Exactly. So, but that's what TWitWoW does, baby. The
damn right.
Magic. But no, like, the only reason I say that, we both saw something in her because, dude, I look at her and I see this woman that could be like the Gaijin version. And again, like that's why I said stand for the male side, but focusing on females like the Aja Kongs, like the Awesome Kongs, just a woman that's like this big imposing force that makes everybody around her. I see it. I see it, and I think Stardom sees it, and I want her to go all in with them and not with the company that actually had a show called All In. Because fuck that company.
Yeah, no kidding.
Her lariat's fucking amazing. Her knee strikes are amazing. How she works is amazing.
Bro, the fact that at 5'8", 160, she's out here doing tope suicidas is crazy to me.
Dude. Like,
she even has a dope ass Busaiku knee that most people would be jealous of.
Bruh, I fucking love this woman. I love Stardom, bro. Like, I am so happy we found a way to start covering this. And again, thank this guy, people. He's always the one that works through the logistics. And I'm just like, yeah, that works for me. Let's do it. And it's been so good for us. And, like, to know that somebody like Jamie Hayter exists is just wonderful to me. I think she should win all the things. I think she needs to be the dominant force in Stardom. And, yeah, just fucking everything. So, you know what? Since we both had her tied, I'm going to concede the remaining time to you. Why did she make your number 4? What positives do you have to say about Jamie Hayter?
Dude, I love her natural kind of charisma that she's got going on. She is very confident. She knows who she is. She knows what she does well, and she uses the shit out of it. She's got great size. She's got great power. She's surprisingly agile. She's like, we always compare her to a female Stan Hansen. There's almost like a female Big Van Vader about her. Because we always talked about how Vader was this freakish like athlete and he could do moonsaults at his size and all that shit. Jamie is kind of along those lines. Like she's got that kind of vibe. Like and the thing is, like, Vader was fat. Jamie Hayter I would not call fat at all. She's thick, but she's not necessarily someone that I would call fat. But still, like, she's this freaky athlete who at her size is doing these tope suicidas and these sick ass running busaiku knees, and she's got one of the best lariats in the business, male or female. And especially because of all the girls in Stardom that sell it for her, that sell it like death. Like, I want her lariat to be a finisher. Like, that's the thing.
Yes, dude.
The biggest downside of her lariat is that she hits this amazing, devastating lariat and everyone kicks out of it, you know? So
yes.
she's like a 5-star player to me. She's the type of performer that you would want to build a division around. She could literally be another Shayna. You give her that 1.5 year long title reign with her as the heel, winning in every which way, by hook or by crook, and I would 100% buy it. There's no reason not to. She's that good.
Dude, preach it, man. We are going to run the Jamie Hayter gospel, brother. You and me.
And not to mention, by the way, I don't know if you knew this. I think I mentioned this yesterday. She's only 24 years old.
Oh, God, the talent. Okay. Who goes? You go next. You go next. So who's number 3 for you, right? Or wait, actually.
No, yeah, I was going to say Arisa was my number 3. So we've got to find out who your number 3 is before we move on to my number 2.
Okay, Starlight Kid.
Nice. I'm surprised she ranked this high for you.
I told you that I figured you'd probably know who was in it. Just the surprise would come where they ranked.
I think mostly I'm surprised that Kid is higher than Jamie. That's the bigger surprise to me.
Yeah. I just am loving her confidence. I'm loving watching her become confident, even if it's just from a character perspective. It's wonderful to see. I'm invested in her winning her first Stardom championship, like incredibly so. And it is going to have to come down now to her beating Riho, which I'm completely excited for. I think they could tear the roof off. I'm excited for rivalry she could have in the future. I mean, dude, even if Starlight Kid only goes as high as the white belt, I could see her being a sympathetic underdog challenger for the red belt. Yeah. And me wanting to see her win and get the upset, especially if it was against somebody like, I don't know, a new Tommy or something that just ragdolls people. You know?
I mean, bro, I've literally watched a match from earlier this year where Starlight Kid straight up pinned Utami.
Oh, wow. What?
Yeah. It was in the content. It was in the confines of a battle royal, but still, it totally happened.
Yeah, dude, she's freaking amazing. Again, like, it really shows, because I know we joke about, oh, Johnny Scumbag and this and that, but I think, like, you know, people can call themselves a good guy in wrestling, but I feel like that term has kind of lost some of its luster to me. I feel like when you have Daniel Bryan as a babyface or a Juice Robinson and yes, a Starlight Kid, there's a sincerity to it. And that's what I look for a babyface that I can get behind. And I think that correlates to, if I'm not getting behind you as a babyface, I find it to be insincere on some level. Either that or you're just not making it entertaining. Like, I do enjoy Kevin Owens as a heel, but at least him as a babyface is incredibly entertaining because he's a babyface that speaks truth to power. These people, when I say sincere, they are underdogs. Like, I believe that the business doesn't come easy for them, that it has been a struggle, that probably one of them, because I named, 3 people, one of them probably slept in their car while going to wrestling school, and I bet you Starlight Kid got put through the ringer at the dojo because the Stardom dojo, they fucking make people, and I'm so happy to see her here. I'm so happy to see her thriving. I can't even believe she ranked that high. Again, when I was working through this list, I'm like, but how do I really feel? And I'm like, well, how I feel is I love Starlight Kid and I love the remaining 2 people I haven't named yet. I just wanted to show her some love. So who is your number 2, man?
My number 2, honestly, I wonder if we have the same number 2. I really do wonder.
I bet we do.
Is it Azumi?
Who is it? It is Azumi.
Yes, it is. Dude, this is so perfect. Azumi is our number 2 together.
Dude, you have to go first, though, because I feel like you've been an Azumi advocate for longer than me, admittedly, so you should have the... Actually, no, by that distinction, I should go first and be quick, and then you should take the fucking baton. I'll say what you usually say. She's a fucking prodigy. Yes. I love watching this woman work in the ring. I love her confidence. I love that even if she's speaking as a character, I believe her when she says she's one of the fucking best in that locker room. And I love that at 17, she already has the talent to back it the fuck up.
Yep.
Like, I have said, and you can vouch for me on this, just for people that haven't been showing up very long to our Stardom recordings, I have said I can't wait for her to lead Queen's Quest. I have said when she leads Queen's Quest, it'll probably become my favorite faction.
Yep.
And I mark me down on this right now. The first recording of 2020, Five Fave Five. I want this fucking woman to win the fucking red belt. I want her to be world champion.
Hell yes.
You can mark me down as saying that first commentary of the fucking year. I want this woman to be world champion because she will make that fucking title matter.
Yep.
She will make that belt seem like the most prestigious thing, not just in women's wrestling, but in all of wrestling. When you talk about Io's lineage and her legacy and her torch, Azumi holds that fucking torch before anyone.
Dude,
Don't get it.
I gotta tell
twisted.
you, like, before we really got familiar with Stardom, like a year or two ago, when we were first just becoming aware of its existence, there was a match that I saw that was Starlight Kid versus Azumi. And at the time, I didn't realize that that was like a big time rivalry that would span over the years. But I felt like it was like a younger version or like a mini-me version of Io versus Mayu, because Azumi reminded me so much of Io, and Starlight Kid, with the way that she sold and bumped and stuff, reminded me so much of Mayu, because I wasn't overly familiar with Stardom, but I at least knew of those two, mostly because of their exposure that I had in Lucha Underground and maybe like a match or two outside of that. But because I was at least somewhat familiar with those two, watching Azumi versus Starlight Kid, those like, I think it was like a year and a half to 2 years ago, I felt like it was literally just like a glimpse into a future version of Io versus Mayu because of how much they remind me of them respectively.
Dude, yes. Oh
yeah.
my god.
Azumi has so much Io influence in her. It's crazy. Like the way that she moves, the way that like her drop kicks, like so much about what she does reminds me so much of Io. She is the spitting image of her mentor.
Dude, and you can tell she is passionate about this shit.
Yes.
Like,
I mean, dude, Jackie has said multiple times in the Discord, Azumi changed high schools so that her high school schedule would be more accessible to allow her to wrestle more.
And dude, you even said when she like pinned Hazuki in the gauntlet and was crying, like that you thought like in Azumi's mind, she can't imagine why Hazuki would want to leave because she like Azumi just loves this so much.
Yeah.
So like she can't even understand like, why are you leaving? We were supposed to do this together. Which, oh god.
I mean, we also got to remember too, Azumi wasn't originally brought into Queen's Quest. Like she was never supposed to be a part of Queen's Quest. She, in the middle of 2017, when Momo was dealing with an injury, she literally just went up to Io and was like, "Hey, I want to join Queen's Quest. I can replace Momo in your 3-on-3 tag matches." And Io was just like, "Why do you want to join Queen's Quest?" And then she told her, and then she was like, "Well, I hope you realize that we're all equals in Queen's Quest. We're not going to baby you." And she was just like, "Yeah, that's what I want," because she was basically in, I think she was still in like the kids faction basically, where it was like Jungle and her and a bunch of younger girls, and she felt like she was being babied, so she wanted to step up, and she did, and literally like 8 months later, she was Io's first pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Like she literally had to fight for it.
Yeah, dude, I love it. I love it. I honestly cannot wait to see this woman become world champion. I really can't. I can't wait to see her lead this faction and to step into the leadership role definitively. She's the future. Like when you ask me about the future of wrestling, and I mean wrestling, not WWE or any of that stuff, but just the enterprise, the art of wrestling, Azumi's on my fucking list. Like to be that young and to be that good, she's nothing but the future. I've taken to calling her the very quintessence of the future. Yeah. And the future is fucking astounding.
It is.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I love that she was our number 2 for both of us. I can't believe that. I can believe it, but I can't believe it. It's amazing.
And dude, this is why I said that it's perfect that she was our number 2, because our number 1s are fucking tag team partners.
No way.
Yes way.
Oh, dude, you have to go, because everybody already knows. Anybody that's been here knows who my number 1 is. I'm shocked Jungle made number... What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, dude. Jungle Kiona is my number 1. She's my favorite in Stardom at this point. And it really, there's no one reason. It's so many reasons. Because, like, I even mentioned her as an honorable mention for my Talker of the Year, because I fucking love her promos. And I love, because like she's one of the few that really likes to talk too. And you can tell, like, she almost brings out She almost has like that Kyrie-like quality about her back in the day when Kyrie used to be like, you know, she was almost infamous for loving the mic too much. Jungle is kind of like that to me now because she, like, when you get a mic in front of her, she can tell stories and she's a great storyteller and she can talk and she has the gift of gab. But then, like, you get her in the ring and holy shit, she, like, I mentioned Arisa was in like 5 potential match of the year candidates this year. Jungle, I think, was in more than that because Jungle has had so many amazing matches this year. She had 2 match of the year candidates in the 5-star Grand Prix alone, and she missed half of it with an injury.
Yeah.
Like, her matches against Utami and Kagetsu in the 5-star were incredible. Her Wonder title shot against Arisa was amazing. Her World title shot against Kagetsu earlier in the year was amazing. Her other Wonder title shot against Momo earlier in the year was amazing. Most of her tag matches tagging with Konami have been amazing, especially the title defense against Rio and Starlight Kid. And they had this great story with Konami pretending to not like her and then getting tagged in and kicking ass. I fucking love this tag team, and I know that Konami is your favorite half, but Jungle is absolutely my favorite half of the 2.
Yeah, and I'll just get right to it. Fucking Konami.
Yeah.
My number 1, amazing technician. I love how inspired her offense is in big matches. Like, she did 2 things in that Arisa match I've never seen. That hammerlock inverted, kind of like lifting DDT, and then the guillotine plex that she did before that to Arisa. I've never seen somebody just in the guillotine position just throw somebody off the top rope. I was like, what the power? Holy fuck.
Well, and you want to talk about power, dude? Fucking Jungle, man. That's another thing that I love about her is her finishers, because like she's got 3 deadly finishers now. She's got the hammer throw power bomb, which works on everyone except for the tippy top, you know. And then she's got the fucking Kaniku Buster, which I think they call the Jungle Buster in New Japan, because the Kaniku Buster, that's actually a name from that it's like a Lucha Libre anime or something like that, but it is from an anime. I forget what the name of it was. I'm sure somebody in chat will know. But then she's also got recently that swinging sleeper that she's been using on smaller opponents. That's so good. It looks devastating and it works so well. Like, her finishers are even great. So yeah, Jungle is just so good. I love her intensity. Her facial expressions are actually underrated too. Like, nobody talks about how expressive Jungle Kiona is. She's so expressive. And like, even if you just want to talk about her 5-star match against Kagetsu, the Kaniku Buster or the Jungle Buster that she hit on Kagetsu, the expression of pain and almost sadness on her face after hitting that sent me. It was so good. She's amazing. And now you can get back to gushing about Konami, because I just wanted to cut you off there briefly.
No, dude, I totally get it. They're such a good team, and their synergy.
Dude, I'm gonna be so angry if they get broken up in the draft, dude.
Dude, like, it's amazing that Stardom snatched the awards like imminently yesterday during our ceremony.
Oh, it was Ultimate Muscle. Thank you, Javars. It was Ultimate Muscle that the Kaniku Buster was from.
But yeah, like, it's amazing that like things related to Stardom, whether the brand itself or its performers, were able to snatch awards like imminently yesterday during our ceremony. Because originally my tag team of the year, I was going to be very strong. I was like, Viking Raiders. But I'm like, no, you know what? I could make a legitimate case for Jungle and Konami.
Yeah.
And they've been so much fun to watch this year.
Yep.
Fuck it. It's our awards. It's our channel. I'll do what the fuck I want.
Exactly. I feel like you kind of have that vibe with today's show too, with Five Fave Fives.
Yeah, because I'm like, no, you know what? It's not like, what are you going to do? A criteria for like what makes me scientifically pop? I don't have a decibel measure.
I was going to say, like, it's not like we're trying to appease anyone. We're not trying to, we're not trying to be objective. We're trying to have fun. We're trying to talk about what we like.
Yeah, and like, Stardom, man, is doing it for me. And I understand why you had Jungle, which is why she made my honorable mention, because no way was I going to diss Jungle. Because here's the thing.
Yeah.
I may tease her sometimes, but what I love about Jungle, here's what's going to make Jungle so fucking marketable when they push her in the future, which they absolutely should, for the record, in terms of like singles.
I mean, dude, from what I understand, Rossi, before the whole Bushiroad buyout, Rossi wanted Jungle to be one of the pillars of Stardom. I don't know if that's changed. I mean, it seems like it has based on the marketing, because they're really pushing Mayu, Arisa, Utami, Julia, and Hana as like the big ones to really keep up with. But yeah, man, I really want Jungle to get some kind of, like, she's never held a singles title in Stardom ever, and she's been there for 4 years now.
Yeah, bro, I just want to say this very quickly about Jungle before I go back to gushing about Konami. What's going to make Jungle so successful, if they want her to be, as I say with any company, this is a woman that could legitimately pop your head off like a fucking cork. And she's got this vulnerability to her.
Yeah.
Like, it just works. Like, it's really, because when a few years ago, Momo turned on her, and it's like, I helped you with your homework. And now this, like, when I thought she was genuinely losing Konami, and then it turns out I got worked. But again, point Jungle, because her vulnerability is just like, it reaches people.
Yes, it's
I was like, yeah, like I did tease her about it because, you know, I'm a dick. But also I'm like, oh man, you know, Jungle's gonna, you know, just not have any friend. Like, she's fighting for her friend. Like, damn. And, you know, her vulnerability like that when she's got all the power and all the goods to beat anybody in that locker room, it's a synthesis that I don't think not many people could pull off without it coming off disingenuous. But with Jungle, you readily believe it. And I feel like that's the making of a babyface world champion. If not at the very least, a very defining Wonder of Stardom champion. Like somebody that'll go down when their career is done. Like, yeah, I remember when Jungle Kiona was Wonder of Stardom champion because her matches got me into Stardom. I could see people saying that. And to get back to Konami, I'll be truthful. On the business side of things, I don't know if Konami will go as far as Jungle in terms of like the accolades and stuff like that.
Yeah, I love what Kirby said about Konami, and it's kind of actually applies to what you were saying about Jungle too. Konami's a rare wrestler that comes off as an underdog and a badass at the same time.
Yes,
and you can say the exact same thing about Jungle too.
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. And I love. Let me tell you what I love best about Konami, because most people will be like, oh, is it that she's a really good technical wrestler? And yes, don't call me out. But more so that, like, because here's the thing. Me being a Benoit fan, and I don't even really think he was a terrible promo. I just feel like he was more like a Bryan in the sense that he's always going to be more sincere than he is charismatic. When he spoke, he always spoke very passionately and from the heart. Yeah. Konami, though, has got charisma. Mm-hmm. Like, this woman is... This woman is cracked.
Yeah, like as from like a character and mic perspective, she's somewhere between Hiromu and Suzuki, which is terrifying.
But dude, what a great synthesis when you can do what she does in the ring and legitimately shoot on people.
Yeah, and in the ring, she's somewhere between Suzuki and ZSJ.
Like when she licked Arisa's hand, and Arisa, because she's a precious doe that I want to protect at all costs, and she's like, she licked my hand. That's the first time a woman has ever licked my hand.
It's so fucking cute.
Well, like, but Konami, yeah, she licked the title. She licked it, and like, she's just
been really into licking things lately, and it's starting to rub off on Hana too. I don't know if you saw the images from the TCS New Year's party last night, but Hana was licking a knife and taking pictures of it. So
I mean, it wasn't that long ago that I believe it was Japan. Like, it was several years ago where it was that trend of like licking eyeballs. So like, I don't know, maybe Konami started that and she's just like, no one will ever know. I don't know, bro. I ain't about to speculate, but what I do know, it like, and dude, when this woman gets that gleam in her eye and that smile on her face, oh, looks like I entertained you, Jungle.
Yes.
Like, oh my god, this woman's insane, and I'm here for it. Like, oh my god,
dude, I want us to go back and rewatch some of Konami's stuff from immediately after the draft, because she was on QQ's fucking head. Literally, the first match after being drafted out of QQ with at the time it was just International Army. It was literally renamed to TCS in that segment. The last words out of her mouth, or it was either the last or the first, "Fuck you, QQ."
dude, just to piggyback off of you very quickly, because Konami was my number one, I've got to share this story. So in researching for the awards, I watched her World of Stardom title match against Beat, which, by the way, guys, if Konami ever wins the World of Stardom title, I am freaking the fuck out.
I was going to say, that was a shorter match, too, wasn't it? It was only like 9 minutes.
It was, but she did kick out of Queen's Landing, which impressed the fuck out of me.
Oh, wow.
Because, yeah, I couldn't believe it, but she started the match, both middle fingers in the air. Fuck you, B.
I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you. She was on QQ's head after getting drafted out of there. She was like, thank you, Hana. I would say thank God, but it might as well be the same thing, because you are my God, because you got me out of that faction.
Dude, I just need to say on a more personal level, because wrestling has grown up with me, and I've grown up with wrestling. And I can see how I've changed as a fan, because when I was a kid, very mild mannered, didn't talk much. I certainly didn't have the voice that I do today. I always gravitated to, the Benoits and stuff like that were always like very humble, very passionate, about respect and this and that. Yep. Nah, fam. Now that I've gotten older, when you have the technical genius that Suzuki, a ZSJ, or a Konami does, and you shoot your fucking mouth off, dude, I'm here for it.
I have definitely noticed over the years you have grown such an affiliation for the character performers.
Yes, dude. Yeah, and I'm so glad you have noticed, because I feel it too. I've definitely veered away from just the pure in-ring guys that are like, oh, I just want to be the best in the ring. Yeah, but can't you talk about it though? Like, and that's the thing. When Konami is
everyone in the wrestling business wants to be the best in the ring. Tell us what sets you apart from them.
Exactly. And Konami, I feel like with her personality, I can't tell you, dude, legitimately what a relief it was to me. I can speak to know that Konami can talk. Like once I knew she could talk, I'm like, oh, bless you, you beautiful.
I also want to go back and show you the first promo that they did. I think it was their match against like Getsu and Onrush or something. It was the first promo that they did after being mathematically eliminated from the tag league. They were corpsing their asses off, and it was almost like they were trying to tell you that they were fucking lying to us and that they weren't being sincere, and that this whole thing about, oh, we have to win every match from now on to make sure that we don't have to defend our titles anymore was a complete farce. Like, we're practically just telling us that with their eyes and with their laughter, we're lying, we're joking, we have an inside joke. And then they would go on to have the whole strategy thing. It was amazing.
Bro, I just gotta say one more thing about Konami, and it's not really about Konami before we move on to our other list. Now that Javaris is a Konami fan, this is so fucking perfect, because Konami's next big match is going to be her and Jungle against B and Jamie. And because Konami hates Queen's Quest, and because, like I said in that World of Stardom matchup, she flipped off B and said, fuck you, B. I hope she does it again in the tag match so that her and Javaris can be on B's head together. Yeah. And now that Javaris is a Konami fan, bruh, all teasing aside about your net worth or how poor I am or whatever, if we can support Konami together and you've got your wealth behind her, we're about to take over the fucking world, fam. The fucking world. I cannot wait to see Konami flip off B in that tag match. Fuck you again, B. Like, yes. Yes, on her fucking head. Yes. Yes, Javaris, that's the energy we fucking need when that title match happens. You keep that energy, you magnificent bastard. You keep it. I am so ready for the Konami era. I'm so ready for the Jungle era. I fucking love Stardom. It almost makes me sad we have to move on to our other list, because I could talk about Stardom for another 2 hours, but let's get to our other list.
Let me just go over my mom's list real quick. Her honorable mentions were Jamie Hayter and B Priestley. And then her top 5. Number 5 was Starlight Kid. Number 4 was Konami. Number 3 was Jungle Kiona. Number 2 was Hana Kimura, and number 1 was Kagetsu.
Oh god, dude, I can't wait for the next Stardom show now. All right,
there's one happening literally tonight.
Oh god, I wonder if the tag title is going to be, or maybe they're going to wait.
No, we know the card already. There are no titles on the line for tonight's show.
Okay. Oh wow, Jackie's the lone QQ. Listen, Jackie, when Azumi takes over, I promise I'll join you. It's just,
honestly, I was even gonna say I'm slowly growing. Like, QQ's slowly growing on me. Like, there's nobody in that faction right now that I outwardly dislike. I'll say that.
I even buried my beef with Momo, so maybe QQ
and Momo is really starting to grow on me too. Like Momo and especially Utami. Like, y'all already know I love Azumi. She was number 2 on my Fave 5. Utami especially though is really, like, if she's not in my Fave 5 post Mania, I'll be surprised, because she's really starting to hit some nerves with me. She's really starting to do some stuff.
Oh hell yeah.
Javaris said I stopped fucking with QQ and BJ.
Stay on her fucking head, Javaris. Stay on her fucking head. Because Javaris, you know that Konami and Jungle stay on her fucking head too. But listen, man, for other, I'm just going to, even if this is the wrong order, like me speaking first, I'm just going to go ahead and say right now, I had no honorable mentions for others. So if you have any honorable mentions, please.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I have quite a few. All right. Honorable mentions for other. Marty Skrull, Hikaru Shida, Tennille Dashwood, Priscilla Kelly, Chris Statlander, Flamita, Killer Cross, Taya Valkyrie, Brian Cage, Maki Ito, Reika Psyche, and the Hybrid 2.
Dude, none of your honorable mentions were on my Five Fave Fives. Sweet.
Wow.
Dude,
you watch though. We're going to have the exact same 5 dudes on our Fave Fives together.
I highly doubt that for at least one of my picks. Okay. I think one of my picks is going to shock you that he's even on
you know
here.
what? Also, I think I know who your number 1 probably is, and it's not going to be on my list, so.
Okay. So do I go first on this actually, or?
I think I went first for Stardom, so I would say so, yeah.
This will make you happy that he at least cracked my top 5, because again, I had no honorable mentions, so nowhere to go but up, am I right? Number 5 is Phoenix.
Oh, bullshit, man, he's number 1 for me.
I'm going to keep it very succinct, insanely talented, great look. I think he's one of the best luchadors in the world right now. Go.
Yeah, I think he's one of the best luchadors in the world right now, too, alongside Dragon Lee and Flamita and Bandito. And yeah, like I really, this is overwhelming. What the hell? Yeah. To me, he's got the best super kick in all of wrestling right now. He's legitimately, I would argue, the most exciting in-ring performer in the wrestling world right now. I know that there's obviously a lot of competition for that, but for me, it's Phoenix right now. I honestly think it's kind of unfortunate that he and Pentagon are being kind of pigeonholed as just a permanent team in AEW, because they're both so fucking incredible in singles and as singles performers. I think that he has some of the most insane, just breathtaking offense and some of the most insane, breathtaking moves and moments in all of wrestling right now. And yeah, from a performance perspective, which is really, I think I weighed the in-ring performance more than just about anything for this category, because of the fact that there aren't as many promos outside of the promotions that we already normally talk about as there are inside of those promotions. I think I really weighted the in-ring stuff more than just about anything, and for me, Rey Fenix just takes the cake for that. So,
all right, then who is your number 5?
My number 5 is Kenny Omega. Or no, shit, I was looking at the wrong list. That was my mom's number 5. My number 5 is Darby Allin.
Awesome.
Yeah, and speaking of, Darby Allin's actually, I believe, either making his entrance or he's already in the ring on AEW right now, because he's got a match with Cody starting the show. But yeah, man, Darby Allin, I've really become a big fan of Darby's. I think that the way there's a lot of like that Isaiah Swerve Scott factor with Darby Allin, in the sense that he just moves like nobody else in wrestling right now. Like the way that he gets from point A to point B and is able to just turn around on a dime and changes momentum and everything, like in the ring, he's so agile, he's so athletic, and it's almost like an understated athleticism too, because he doesn't do these crazy flippy moves. It's more about just the way that he gets around in the ring and stuff. And obviously the coffin drop is just an amazing looking move to me. And it just looks devastating when he hits it, or when he misses, it's devastating to him. And I love those like kamikaze type wrestlers where it's just like, I'm either going to kill you or I'm going to kill me. But either way, one of us is dying right now. And yeah, Allin is along those lines. And yeah, I just really like Darby Allin, man. He's great.
Yeah, dude, my number 4, I think, is going to shock you. Because this is a complete 180. Number 4 is David Starr.
You know what? If you would have told me this before we reacted to that last OTT show, I would have been shocked. Knowing the way you feel based on our reactions there, not as surprising. I kind of figured he would end up making one of your lists.
You know what's surprising to me? And like, I'm just going to get all the obvious stuff out. Yes, I love that he has like this almost communist gimmick. Although he seems like real life, he's more democratic, which is fine. I'm not judging, and I'm not about to make this political. But like a class consciousness gimmick, I'll say.
Right.
Where it's like unionize the wrestlers, all that stuff. Love it. Love it. Here's what surprises me. At least with this particular gimmick. Maybe I'd feel differently if it was a different gimmick. I like him better as a babyface. That is weird to me.
I mean, to be fair, though, doesn't that really just mean that he's really fucking good at being a heel?
Yeah, probably. You're right.
He's so good at being a heel that he's even made hardened smarks like us not like him when he's a heel.
Yeah, because, like, I was even going to say, if you talk to him, he probably likes being a heel better and thinks he's a better heel. But you know what, Ashton? I'm so glad you said that to me. And only because only because, like, yeah, I really have become, and I hate it. I don't necessarily like it. But again, when I talk about, like, recapturing the magic and stuff, you know, we shouldn't like heels. And I think we often forget that if we don't, and for good reasons, because it's not even like David Starr does anything offensive or is offensive.
Right.
You know, it's just, yeah, I just didn't like him, I guess. And now that he's doing this stuff, even though I still think he's got that chip on his shoulder, I dig it, man.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I love his Twitter feed. I hope what he's doing with the wrestling business, I hope nothing shady comes out about it, because God knows we need some sincere fucking people in this. But Daniel Bryan can't do it all by himself, fam. Come on now. But, yeah. I just, I think it's great. I really do. I hear that he's only, I think in his early, maybe mid-20s at most. That match.
Well, I'll tell you right now, David Starr is 28 years old.
Oh, wow, that's a bit older than I expected, honestly. But you know what, though? It was about the same age as Andrade when I got hyped as hell about him.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. How old even? Isn't Andrade 28 now?
I think he's 29 now, shouldn't he be?
He's 30 now. Shit, okay.
Holy fuck. Get that world title on him already.
Please.
David Starr fucking Charlotte. I don't even like, I know that's not even related, but it might be. I don't fucking know. But yeah, David Starr, I just am loving the gimmick he's doing right now. That OTT match with fucking Jordan Devlin, who I really don't care for at all. And in fact, I wish Chiefin was actually here for this, because, like, I know he loves OTT and he loves that wrestling scene. He'd probably be smiling big time that I gave love to its world champion now in David Starr. I thought the title win, because I'm going to be honest, OTT, unless Chiefin brings it to our attention, it's not something that I think about. Although, to be fair, I do enjoy it enough when Chiefin does request it for us. It's just not something that, you know, I'm like, oh, what's happening in OTT? That's really become Stardom, if anything. Like, ooh, what's happening in Stardom right now? But I cared about the title win. They made the OTT world title feel important. And, you know, his celebration, I'm like, I actually hope he does well with the belt. If he ever does show up in an NXT, I would kind of want him to keep this gimmick, but I don't think WWE would let that happen.
I was going to say, dude, not only do I think he wouldn't show up in NXT because I don't think he would want to, but also because I think WWE's fucking terrified of him.
Yeah, because you know he'd talk in the locker room. Like, well, you know, dude, guys.
Yeah, I was like, everything. Not just the union shit, but also like the what was the whole the thing that he was doing before? The progressive Jew gimmick, that whole thing too.
Yeah.
Literally every David Starr gimmick over the last 2 years terrifies WWE.
Dude, he just seems like a well-intentioned, pompous intellectual, and I'm like, oh, this is what my reflection looks like. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm vibing with it. He came in at number 4, and honestly, if we kept up with these kinds of promotions more regularly, he might even rank higher if I got more exposure to this gimmick and just how he works with this gimmick now. But even with just the minimal exposure, to not even come in at the bottom at number 5, but to get the number 4 spot, should just tell you how much I really do love it when I get to see it. So who's next on your list, brother?
Number 4 on my list has actually fallen a little bit from my last list, because if I remember correctly, he was actually number 1 on my last list. Yeah, because remember the last time we did it was AEW. But he is no longer number 1 for me in AEW, because obviously, you know, Phoenix is my number 1 overall, and he's in AEW. But my number 2 in AEW and my number 4 overall in the other category is Luchasaurus.
Oh, dude, yes. Could it have been anyone else?
I mean, it probably could have been, considering how many honorable mentions I had, but still, Luchasaurus, like, I hate that he's cooled off so much, and it's not like he's cooled off on purpose. He's cooled off because AEW doesn't fucking use him. And when they do, it's to beat up Jake Hager. Ugh.
Yeah, dude.
Is there anybody in wrestling that ruins people faster than Jake fucking Hager?
Probably not.
Dude found a way to ruin Drago and Aerostar in Lucha. What the fuck?
Dude, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just got to say, for whatever reason, this is probably my most memorable, and the year just started, already my most memorable brand of 2020. When you started speaking, I thought you were going to say he even found a way to ruin drugs because he got busted doing marijuana while driving. And I was even going to say he made marijuana uncool. So I was totally projecting there.
I mean, he made MMA uncool. He did a fucking low blow on purpose. What an asshole.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, dude.
And now he's making Luchasaurus uncool. Shit, man. How do you do these things?
Dude, I'm so sorry, but we're not even wrong. Like, even me joking, we're still not wrong.
It's
but
so bad.
I love how much you believe in Luchasaurus, though, and you believe in him for good reason. It's not even like, oh, bless your heart, look at you believing in it. Like, he's got all the goods.
Yeah.
I just love that you appreciate them that much, because it really is. The first time I saw him in Lucha Underground, I got vibes from, like, a late 90s Kane, for fuck's sake, like, you know, when he debuted. And even as a babyface, it works. He's just undeniable. And to think that this guy is like a PhD in like what, medieval studies or
medieval literature or something like that. Yeah, dude.
This dude's learned as fuck. Like, holy shit. Yeah, man. It's just a really cool
let's
dude.
be real. He's just a fucking Renaissance fair geek that took it a step too far.
You know what though? Respect, because at least he commits. Yeah, man. I honestly think he has all the makings of a world champion.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me that AEW, like, their answer is, oh, yeah, Jake Hager. God damn it. Like, he should have had the match with Jericho but I can understand why Jericho went with Jungle Boy. But, you know, fuck. Or actually, no, Marco Stunt it was. Marco Stunt. That's who he chose as his opponent. But, yeah.
He did wrestle Jungle Boy, though, like the most recent match.
Wait, what was that now?
He did wrestle Jungle Boy.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if he got him. But yeah, like Luchasaurus. What I'm trying to say is Luchasaurus should be working with the Jerichos of AEW and like getting those pops and getting people behind him. I don't know. Maybe AEW knows what they're doing. I'm skeptical. I just feel like Luchasaurus deserves the world, and the world's looking very small where he's working right now. Yeah. Dude, honestly, with how fucking over, you know, strong style people and monster looking people get over in New Japan, I'd love to see Luchasaurus do a fucking G1. I'd love to see Luchasaurus versus Okada. Fucking at me. I think that'd be an amazing fucking match. I'm sorry. I want to see him work with everybody. So yeah, I totally get why he's on your list, man. I love it.
Dude, Luchasaurus in a G1 would be one of the craziest things ever. Luchasaurus, like, I feel like people in Japan even would be like, this dude belongs in DDT, not my New Japan.
Yeah.
And then you see him work, and it's like, oh my god, he does fit in New Japan.
He's amazing. He's amazing. So
who's your number 3? Let's go.
All right, number 3 for me, Private Party.
Nice.
I hate that I just can't bring myself to watch AEW, and it's such a shame because I think what Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn do is very inspired. I love the look. The promo could use some work. I'm not gonna lie. But they're just a lot of fun. I have fun watching these guys, and that's really enough said. I just, every time, it's like I want them to win. They get me behind them. And, you know, pun intended, it's a party. So who's next on your list?
Number 3 for me is Jeff Cobb.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like I need to say too much. I really hope he goes to New Japan on a more full-time basis. Just pull, like, Jeff Cobb and Jamie Hayter just need to hook up and move to Japan full-time like Will and B did.
Yeah, really. Absolutely.
Because I know Jamie's already dating Carl Fredericks, and it would be cool if they would do the same thing, but I want Cobb in New Japan too permanently. Like, I just want all of my favorites to go to New Japan and just stay there.
Yeah, dude, I totally get that. Absolutely.
Cobb was in the tag league though, I think, right? I think he was.
I believe he was, yeah.
Yeah,
let's get that confirmed.
I forget who was his partner. Do you know who his partner was? It was probably Mikey Nichols. Let me look it up just to make sure. Cobb. Yeah, it was Mikey Nichols. So formerly Nick Miller from TM61.
Nice.
But yeah, man, Jeff Cobb is a fucking hoss. I'm far enough separated from his slightly disappointing G1 performance that I'm cool with still having him in my top 3, but the 2 guys that I had ahead of him, obviously number 1 being Phoenix, and then number 2 still being a mystery, thankfully. I just couldn't have I just couldn't have him above because, you know, it's like far enough removed yet, but still. But yeah, Cobb is amazing. He's got some of the most impressive spots in wrestling right now, and I just look forward to him getting an opportunity to show them on a main stage again.
Absolutely, brother. All right, moving right along. My number 2, Scotty Davis.
Yep. Wow. I really want... Oh, never mind. I know who number 1 is. Never mind.
Yeah, like, he's just so young and he's so good. I feel like there's a personality in there. I honestly haven't heard him talk, but you look at his look, you know, with like the facial hair and everything else, has a great look, great physique for his size, technically sound, getting a huge fucking push in OTT. Apparently, according to Chiefin, he was undefeated for a long time. His first loss came to David Starr, and that was the #1 contendership match for the world title that David Starr would go on winning. So shows you how close that Scotty Davis was to facing Jordan Devlin for the title. And I got to be honest, no disrespect to OTT, because, you know, whenever we watch it, like, I like it enough. It's not like I'm actively rooting against it, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. I want to see Scotty Davis in New Japan. You know, Will Ospreay was his mentor. I want him to join Will Ospreay in New Japan for a bit. I want to see Scotty Davis in a BOSJ. Like, I want to see Scotty Davis versus Shingo. I want to see Scotty Davis versus Sho. I want to see Scotty Davis versus Hiramu now that he's back. I want to see Scotty Davis against all of the junior heavyweights in New Japan. And then I want him to take on Will Ospreay as a heavyweight in just like an exhibition match, because maybe he wants to make a splash in New Japan. Maybe he wasn't happy with his Best of Super Juniors performance and he wants a crack at Will. Like, I want him to get that international education. I want him to be a journeyman in pro wrestling before either he goes to America to go to WWE, which I don't know. He's young enough that the world's his oyster. Or maybe he would go to AEW, or maybe he'll go to RJ. Or here's a crazy idea.
I feel like as far as WWE goes, because he's so small, his ceiling is NXT UK.
Yeah, and I agree, and that would be very unfortunate. So here's another idea. Maybe he just stays with New Japan.
Yeah.
Like,
Junior Gaijin Ace.
I don't want to be disrespectful to our UK fans. I'm just telling it like it is, because it is our commentary and it's a fandom-based commentary. I think Scotty Davis is too good to be confined to just the UK wrestling scene. Yeah. And even more so if he kept it to just the Irish wrestling scene. Yeah. Like, you're so much more than that, Scotty, and I want him to know it. I want everybody to know it. This dude could just be so good, and he is so good, but he could be so much better. He needs to challenge himself. He does, and I think that's why he's number 2, because at least the guy at number 1, I feel like he is in his own way challenging himself right now, and I think he will more so in the future. I just want Scotty to have that same chance. And he's 4 years younger than my number 1. I think Scotty's he's either 3 or 4 years younger, because he's either 19. The latest he could be is 20, which is insane to me that he's that young and that good, because I'm only getting used to that with Stardom. But yeah, he's just immensely talented, and I just want the world for him. And I think New Japan, there's just something about him in New Japan. I haven't been able to shake it. I'd love to see him do an excursion with New Japan this year. It would make me freak out. So who's next on your list, brother?
Well, we already know who my number 1 is, so all that's left is my number 2 and your number 1. My number 2, though, might actually... Nope, it's definitely not. How the hell was my number 2 not an honorable mention for you? Are you kidding me? Bandito.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Yeah, John fucked up here, guys. Bandito. But you know what, though? Him ranking that high for you, I want you to talk all about it. Cool.
Yeah, because, like, this dude's an incredible performer. Like, I mentioned him along with Phoenix, Flamita, and Dragon Lee. Now, you, Lee, we got to get used to that. That's going to be a tough one. As, like, the 4 sort of pillars of Lucha Libre in the 2010s, or at least in the late 2010s, going into 2020. Because, like, those 4 guys to me are just the absolute best in the world at the Lucha Libre style, most exciting performers in the world, next to maybe Ospreay and Ricochet, and just, like, absolute tops. I just love all 4 of them. I put Phoenix above Bandito because I think Phoenix does the crazy, breathtaking, like, widening gasp word shit more often than Bandito, but that doesn't make Bandito's shit any less breathtaking, because this dude is incredible. Like, his 21 plex is amazing. His moonsault slam is a fucking beauty off the top rope. And I just think that he is another one of those guys like Jeff Cobb that needs to get the fuck out of Ring of Honor and get the fuck back into New Japan, baby.
Ain't nobody give a fuck about no ROH.
Hell yeah.
Get to fucking New Japan, Bandito.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, man. Dude, I want all the things for him, too. God, see, that's why, like, I really would. I can't even say that I would do that in my off time, though, because I feel like we already do so much content, like, related to wrestling. that, like, you know, there is other stuff that you and I want to do in a day, because sometimes I do feel bad that I miss out on these guys, and I honestly do forget about them. And it's not like a malicious thing either. It really isn't. It's just some guys just slip my mind, and Baydito criminally, when I just talked about him yesterday for year-end awards, slipped my mind for this. But yeah, he's so good, dude. He's undeniable.
You know what we need to do?
What's that?
Like a week or two before WrestleMania this year, we need to go on a PWG binge.
Yes, because we're quite behind, aren't we? So
yeah,
we're
could like
really
3 to 5 shows behind, I want to say.
Yeah. So, number 1, you guys should already know it. Maxwell Jacob Friedman, baby.
Yep.
What an amazing fucking promo. Has me really hooked with every word that he says. I think he's solid in the ring again. I saw people on Twitter giving him shit lately, because I know in some matches he was mocking Cody doing the crossroads, but I feel like that's more a move that's depending on the person taking it, not the person delivering it. So I'm a bit more tentative on giving MJF slack for that. But again, I'm going to reiterate what I said at year-end awards. He's 23 now. I hope he only I don't even want him to give any years to AEW, but if he's going to give a minimum number of years, at least let him get out of the business when he's 28. At least AEW, I mean. Let him get out of AEW when he's 28 and go to WWE. And I only say WWE because, like, I feel like that's the only place he could go that would really, like, challenge him and that he'd fit there. Yeah. And see what he can do. Do not let him be an AJ Styles or a Samoa Joe or whatever, because I don't want him to be, you know what scares the fuck out of me about MJF, dude? And this is really where it comes from. I don't want him to be the guy that when he's in his mid to late 30s and he's like, okay, well, I'm a forever guy here in AEW. And he gives the interview because maybe AEW goes under or maybe it succeeds and, whatever. And he's just like, Cody gave me my first shot and I knew I'd never leave him. I don't want him to have that sense of loyalty to Cody or anybody because, they gave me my first shot. Because here's something I've come to learn about the world. Just because you got a first shot at something doesn't mean it's your best shot at that thing. You might have gotten your first shot at mainstream wrestling doing something. It doesn't mean it's going to be your best shot in the mainstream to show what you can do. Because, yeah, somebody gave you a platform and that's all well and good. But if he had a chance to go to NXT, and I do believe he'd thrive in NXT, I even believe to an extent he could thrive on the main roster if he came during the right era. Yeah. You take that shot. I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't care what the relationships are. If you got one shot at this, you take it. And I'm just so terrified that the real MJF, because he's so good at playing the character, but the real MJF, I am so worried he's going to be that type where it's like, I did get offers from NXT and this and that, but Cody gave me my first shot and I never forgot that. And I just I don't want to have to think about me having conversations with myself about what could have been had he given WWE a shot. Yeah. And that's probably the most depressing number 1 I've ever had because he's so good. I just worry that we're going to be the only ones, and obviously the people that watch AEW and stuff that know it. And yeah, I don't want that to be the case. So that's my number 1. Who's your number 1, bud?
Phoenix, you knew that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh God, because I called it so early. Yeah. Oh God, I'm sorry. It was so early in the thing because he was my number 5. That's right. So yeah, I guess now we can move on to Masters lists. All right.
Our universal top 10, for those of you that are new, these are the top 10 wrestlers that we would consider our favorites in the world, regardless of promotion, regardless of gender, regardless of anything. Our top 10 favorite acts in the world of wrestling right now.
Coming in at number 10 for me, MJF.
Wow, all the way down there. Okay. By the way, just to run over my mom's top 5 in her other section, she had Jimmy Havoc and Darby Allin as honorable mentions, 5 Kenny Omega, 4 Luchasaurus, 3 Marty Scurll, 2 Jeff Cobb, 1 debuting in Stardom on their show that's happening tonight, Layla Hirsch.
Oh, I'm so excited to live react to that. You guys have got, because if anybody's going to resonate with her, it's probably going to be me. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, she's like, oh, hey, John, what happens when you take Jordan Grace, Shayna Baszler, and Casey Catanzaro and put them in a blender? Boom.
I fucking mark. That's what happens. I drank the shit out of that protein shake. Holy hell. So coming in at number 10 for you, brother?
Minoru Suzuki.
Wow, that low for you, huh? We're both surprised by each other's number 10s. Coming in at number 9 for me, Azumi.
Very nice, very nice. Coming in at number 9 for me, Oh shit, yeah, dude, we have the same number 9 too. How do we have the exact same rankings for both Stardom and for our master list for Azumi? I have her at number 9 for me as well.
Bro, I never thought I'd be able to say this sentence unironically. I love that you and I both love somebody the exact same. Like, it's not
insane.
It's not a weird parenting situation. It's like, no, we really do love you equally, legitimately.
Yeah. That's crazy. What?
Amazing. Or should I say Azumi? I don't know. But
Azuming.
I love you.
I also like that your 10 and 9 are both just 3 letters.
Dude, yes. Alphabet soup for the fucking win.
10 MJF, 9 AZM.
Number 8, Cameron Grimes.
Nice. Wow, okay. 8 for me was Ray Phoenix.
Number 7, Minoru Suzuki.
Oh, shit. Okay, I get it. Number 7 for me was Aleister Black.
All right, number 6 for me, Konami.
Ooh, number 6 for me, Keith Lee.
Number 5 for me, Andrade.
Number 5 for me, Jungle Kiona.
Love it. Number 4 for me, Juice Robinson.
Number 4 for me was Kabuki Warriors.
Love it. Number 3, Ishii.
Oh, shit. Number 3 for me, Hiromu Takahashi.
Love it. Number 2, The Fiend.
Number 2, Io Shirai.
Number 1 for me, and hopefully not for the last fucking time, and I can't wait for another health update, Kairi Sane.
And number 1 for me, Daniel Bryan.
Although I will say, guys, one more thing. Since this is the fandom commentary,
yeah,
I'm very curious how quickly Johnny's going to come home when he returns in a WWE ring, because I don't know if Kairi's able to return on time. I was looking forward to seeing those two go head-to-head for my affection. So Johnny's returning imminently, guys. He may be reclaiming.
I really hope that they're both. I really hope that they're both in their respective Royal Rumbles. I really do.
Yeah, I really do too. Dude, I had so much fun with this.
I just want to point out some fun little observations about our lists. So obviously we both had Azumi at 9, which is nuts. But then at number 1 and number 2, we both had 2 guys that are feuding with each other and 2 best friends.
Yeah.
Brian was my 1, Fiend was your 2, Kairi was your 1, Io was my 2.
Right.
We both had our top ranked, and then we both had our top ranked New Japan guy at number 3.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, did one of, because I swear I didn't crawl into your mind before we did this. I'm just wondering if you like wiggled your way into my ear, like, I'm just getting.
And I was going to say, I love too that our favorite in Stardom, like both of us have our favorites and they're fucking tag team partners. That's just perfect.
Dude, I still can't get over the Azumi shit. I can't get over like.
We both had Azumi at 9, and then you had Konami at 6, and I had Jungle at 5. I wish we could have been. Dude, imagine if we both had Konami and Jungle at the same number. That would have been next level shit right there.
Dude, oh my god. But I had so much fun with this. Thank you all to everybody that showed up. As you guys know, because I don't want to be long-winded, I usually just keep the outro to the next most immediate commentary, which is Wrestle Kingdom 14 preview and predictions at 6 p.m.
Friday. Oh my god.
Oh, actually, yeah, that is Friday. I was about to say tomorrow, but tomorrow we have no commentaries. So
tomorrow is a day off because then we've got 4 straight days of new Japan.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, this is the rest-up day tomorrow. Because after tomorrow, we're going all fucking in on New Japan, baby. It is going to be...
Did you just say tomorrow again?
Oh, no. On Friday, I meant to say.
Oh, after tomorrow. You said after tomorrow.
Yeah, because tomorrow's the day of rest. And then after that, we're going all in on New Japan with the preview predictions at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. Yes. It's going to be amazing.
God, honestly, should we go live earlier than 6? Like, we might go long because it's 2 days worth of cards.
I think the earliest we could feasibly go, you want to do 5?
We might want to do 5. Yeah, I'm going to change that on the schedule to 5.
Okay. So 5 p.m. on Friday on Twitch. There. I'm glad you changed the time so that I was able to do it over again and redeem myself.
I think we should. I really do think, because like I don't necessarily think we're going to go 3 full hours, but I do think there's a good chance that we might go a little bit over 2 hours, and I don't want to overlap with people wanting to watch SmackDown.
Yeah, for sure. So
like even tonight, I almost feel like we should have gone live at 5, but I know you had your stuff that you wanted to do beforehand, so it's like, we're keeping people through AEW that they want to watch it, and it feels bad, but at least we're getting this done and over with so that we don't have to reschedule it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I still like, on the whole, I still like how this all fell out. So yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. You're amazing, and wow, we're peaking at 14 live viewers. So be sure to click the follow button while we've got this many live viewers here.
Yes,
click the follow button and keep
follow
up with the channel.
us, because click the follow button, and also click the bell icon to get notifications, because that's, I just saw Noob & Co came in here and said hello like 2+ hours into the commentary, and I'm just like, come on, man, you got to be here on time. You got to get here so that you can witness all of the greatness and not just a fraction of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, if you're still adjusting to us going on Twitch, don't worry about it. I feel like we're still kind of adjusting too, because YouTube's on its fuck shit.
Yeah, we're 2/3 of the way to affiliate, though. We have, last I checked, we had 37 followers, and we only need 50, so we're close.
Guys, if you all followed right now, and maybe some of you already are, but like,
I'm guessing 50. Most of them already are. I know Jackie is.
Yeah, hypothetically, if these 13 weren't following us, that would be the exact number we need to get to 50. And wow, that's going to go up to 12. Don't hurt me like this. I tried to do math. But
you're so good at math, John. You're so good at it.
Thank you. But yeah, please follow us, guys, sincerely, because it would help as we're making this transition, and hopefully it's not like a full time thing. I really hope we can get this YouTube thing straightened out, but we'll have to wait and see on that. I can't really say either way at this time. But in the meantime, Twitch has been serviceable enough. We just like to know that our audience gets here, because we feed off of you guys, and it's great to see you guys. I love seeing how active this chat is, and I want it to be active for Wrestle Kingdom.
Yes.
I really want to have that party and have fun with you guys. So be sure to follow. And with that said, I'm going to hand it over to Ashton to take us home.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, we do hope that you all enjoyed our 5 Fave Fives this time around, and really every time around, but specifically for now, this time around. And we hope that you're looking forward to Wrestle Kingdom weekend, baby. Starting Friday with our preview and predictions. It's going to be so fun. If you did enjoy, though, remember to follow. Remember to click the notification bell over on YouTube. We're going to upload this. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, remember to like this video. Leave a comment. Let us know what you thought. Let us know what your 5 Fave Fives are. Subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon. All that fun stuff. You can also follow us on Twitter, which is, we try and be pretty good about letting everyone know what we're doing on Twitter. I always upload schedules and keep that as my pinned tweet. And we also try and just kind of tweet like, hey guys, we're going to be going live in however many minutes, and make sure that people are aware of when we're going live so that if they want to catch us, they're able to. You can also like our Facebook page, buy our merch on Teespring, donate to our Patreon, and share this channel and this video with all of your wrestling fan friends, and let them in on the best kept secret in the YouTube wrestling community. That's right, we are TWitWoW, and we are the workhorses of the YouTube wrestling community, and we will continue to prove that and grind it out with Wrestle Kingdom weekend. I just can't say that enough. It just feels so good to be able to say those words in that order. So we've got Wrestle Kingdom weekend starting Friday. That is going to be our preview and predictions. Then Saturday and Sunday we'll be live reacting to Wrestle Kingdom. But then next Monday we'll also be live reacting to New Year Dash, aka the show where Suzuki-gun takes over, baby. Then next Wednesday, we'll be back to live reacting to NXT, and that is currently all that we have planned, but Stardom shows will start to populate some of those blank days, as you know, because we never really know when we're going to be doing Stardom, but we try and do it as soon as we possibly can at any given time. So we hope that you're looking forward to that, and of course, we hope that you're all able to remember to stay tuned.